Warning. The Pop Punk Book Club features heavily biased opinions and unapologetically wild takes performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals to ensure the safety of performers and animals alike. We may sound confident, but our views are based entirely on personal feelings. Accordingly, the PPBC and the producers must insist that everyone attempt to recreate and reenact these stunts and activities. Join us at poppunkbookclub.com.
So how interested in Pokemon are you, or have you been throughout your life?
I wasn't into it when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like it's maybe controversial, but I kind of felt like maybe we were just like missed it a little bit because I know my sister was really into it. And
what are you talking about? The original Gen 1 was like 97.
But it got like massive there at a certain point. And
I remember every day before school on Cheese TV in Australia, which is our like TV. Well, it's like kids shows in the morning.
Yeah.
It used to be like aerobics or something. I was never up that early, but that's what the fabled aerobics that like, the
for kids.
No, it was not for kids. That was the thing. But like, there'd always be those kids who acted like they were like heaps into girls when they're in like year 5 or year 6. And they're like, oh, mate, did you see the aerobics this morning? I don't know. It was real weird. I was never up that early. But they had Pokemon and then Dragon Ball Z in the morning before school. I remember because I used to come to primary school, and in the first season, I don't know if you divide Dragon Ball Z into seasons. It's just kind of like a series. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, no, sagas is the way they do it, actually, based on the villain, I think, how they do it. Because I've rewatched it recently, kind of.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah. But there was the series or saga where Goku's making the big spirit bomb to throw at Frieza. And it takes multiple episodes for him to give me your power, whatever he says, and builds this huge big spirit bomb. Okay. And I remember coming to school and everyone's like, oh, Goku, did you see this morning? Like the spirit bomb got bigger. And then,
so is this in primary school?
Yeah. And then a little bit after, people were like, you going to throw it already? Like it's been like 3 days. For a kid, that feels like forever. Yeah. And then he threw it and missed. That was the big, everyone was so devastated that morning at school when he threw the spirit bomb and missed. But Pokemon was on just before Dragon Ball Z.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. For some reason in my mind, I can remember it becoming really, really big in like the early 2000s, like post-primary school for us. And I just know I wasn't into it. I know my sister was. And now like Owen, my son, is like obsessed with it.
Well, that's why I asked how involved, like how has Pokemon affected your life? Because it's still big now with kids.
Yeah. Well, I know more about it now than I did when I was a kid.
There's like 4,000 of them now.
Yeah.
I only cared about it when it was the original 152.
Yeah.
One time when I was on tour in the car, we were bored and we tried to list all 152. It's really hard. But the original Gen 1 was, I think that came out. I remember Christmas 98 was like the best Christmas ever. The other day, long story short, I've set up this thing at home where it's like, it looks like on Apple TV, like you've got your own cable, like it looks like a cable. I never had Foxtel or whatever. Yeah. But you make your own TV channels. And one of them I made is just family home movies at random times. So you can just hop into like a time portal. I call it that channel. It's called DeLorean.
Cool.
And you get that reference.
I do.
And you feel happy to get that reference. If people heard other episodes, I don't understand what I mean. And in that, the other day, it was Christmas 98. And Julie was like, oh, it's a Christmas one. I was like, this was the legendary Christmas. Because in my mind, Christmas 98 was the best Christmas ever. I got like, it was like peak 90s culture. All the stuff was great. But one of the things I got was Pokemon Red and Pokemon Game Boy. Oh, sorry. A Game Boy Color to play it on.
Sure.
So Santa was good to me that year for sure. And I loved it. And I put so many hours into Pokemon Red. I caught all 152. Some of them meant you had to like trade with a friend. And like, because some of the Pokemon only evolved when they were traded. Okay. And like, my brother, he had Pokemon Blue, but he didn't play that much. So what I did was that I'd get him to like pick the starter I didn't have and then like trade me and then reset his game, pick the other starter to pass on. Bullied him into doing that. But I did that and I had all 152. I remember that. One of my friend's older brothers was like, can I borrow your Pokemon Red to have a go? Because I haven't like played it before. And he immediately saved over my game file, which would have had like 100 hours worth of gameplay minimum. Like it was so much work to get all the Pokemon.
So you go back to none?
Well, it deleted my game. Like it deleted my save file. And his mum rang my mum to be like, oh, Nathan's just deleted Jayson's save file on the Pokemon Red. And I like got so mad on the phone, which I never did as a kid. I was never really allowed to be mad. And I got angry. I looked at my mum expecting her to go, Jay, like settle down. Because I was like crying on the phone. I was like,
that would be devastating.
I was about 19 at this point. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was like 11. And it was. And I was like, it was so much hard work. Not hard work, but so much work. And I loved it, but it was just that thing of like, oh man, I didn't want it reset. And I looked at my mum and she was kind of like, well, you can if you want because he shouldn't have done that. And I was like, wow, this is a mature moment for me.
Seeking authorization to get angry?
No, I just expected to be told not to be angry. And I didn't get that. It was like, I'm not going to stop you because
go for it, mate.
I've seen how much work you've put in. But I loved Pokemon. That's what I was wondering if you were into it as well, because I was going to ask you what was your starter of choice if you played when you were younger, because it says a lot about you.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
We'll see now. Can I take Charizard? Or is that just too simple?
It's everyone, I guess because maybe it's Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue, they all chose Charmander and Squirtle. You give Squirtle energy for some reason. I don't know why.
That sounds decent, but anyway.
But I don't get it. Maybe people listening can tell us if I'm on the money with that.
Owen's got this, he got this thing for Christmas where it's a Pokeball where you turn it on and it tries to guess a Pokemon that you're thinking. It's like Guess Who.
Oh,
but
you're
playing with a computer, basically.
There was that thing ages ago on the computer with the, I can't remember, it was the genie guy floating on, is that something like that? And he asked 20 questions and can guess what it is. And it was
basically,
magic.
Yeah. It'll just be does your Pokemon stand on two legs?
Yeah.
Has it evolved from another Pokemon? And it comes with this little booklet. So you've got all the Pokemon. So you don't need to know anything. You've just got to look at the profile for the one that you've chosen.
Yeah.
And Owen loves playing it because it's shit. It has no idea.
I thought you were saying it gets it every time.
No, it almost never gets it. But it's so confident. It's got all these automated responses, obviously. And it'll be like, I think I know what you're thinking of. I've got it. And it's like, no, you haven't got it.
Right. Every time. It's Pikachu. It's not Pikachu.
And then I'll be doing it and no one's sitting there listening to me. And then he'll want to have a turn. And it won't pick up his voice for some reason. So he's just it's like, have you chosen your Pokemon? And Owen's like, yes. And he just goes, have you chosen your Pokemon? And Owen's just going, yes!
That's so funny.
So I'm learning more every day.
Oh, that's good. Well, there's so many. I mean, as I said, even 152 was hard to think of a number for, but yeah, for me it was. But
what was your starter?
Well, my starter of choice was Bulbasaur.
Oh, okay.
He's actually cool. There is actually a subreddit out there called Bulbasaur Master Race.
Interesting.
I was a part of that for a while because they get it. Those are my people. They understand.
Oh, okay. And so, sorry, is there a reason why you wouldn't choose the more evolved form of him? Isn't he the starter?
There's three starters. There's Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle.
Sorry,
and they become. You mean
But there's an evolved form of Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur.
Yeah. Is there a reason why? Do you just like the personality of Bulbasaur? You feel more of an attachment to him
compared to who? The other,
the more evolved form.
Well, you can't pick them as a starter. It's just what starter do you choose?
Oh,
so when you pick the starter, you're
means,
assuming where they're going to evolve into.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
so I've got to say Charmander, not Charizard. Yeah, I don't know enough about Pokemon to be able to participate in this
you
conversation.
missed out on an amazing. You always say that you don't like missing pop culture. This is a big one to miss because that was so good. I loved Bulbasaur so much.
Okay.
So much. As in I loved Pokemon so much as a kid. I remember back in the day, there was a website. It was back when the internet only had a few websites on it. And there was Pokemon.com, but it was this old GeoCities-esque looking website that you could look at all the different Pokemon and have all their data and their as their height and their weight and all that stuff. It's like a profile about the Pokemon. I would print them out, but my mum wouldn't let me waste the printer ink. So she'd only let me do a couple a day every now and then.
Yeah.
So it was
printed in grey.
Yeah, exactly. It was. And it was, don't you use
grayscale?
all the ink? What's funny about it is you wouldn't be able to print something in color because one color would be missing. It's got to buy new ink. But I had this folder with plastic sleeves and I would print them and put them in. I carry that folder everywhere with me of just looking at the, I can see in your eyes what you're thinking right now. The diagnosis hadn't come yet.
No.
But I was going through the book. I would take it. I remember taking it to school for a Christmas carols thing that was on after hours at school. And I remember vividly going around at summer with my Pokemon binder because a few other people wanted to do it too when they saw me doing it because Pokemon cards were all the rage. How do you think Pokemon came big later when it was all Pokemon cards in primary school as well? Everyone, at least in my school, everyone
I just don't remember it being a big thing at my primary school.
Right.
I really don't remember it until into high school when it became
That's so weird because if anyone's listening that don't know, we are the same age. So it's not where there's no time separating us.
No.
Yeah, we're born the same year and we're in the same grade at school. But anyway, so my point is I loved Bulbasaur. He was my favorite. And it was I loved that Pokemon. It was my favorite one. And I remember my dad telling me one year that New Year's was coming up and he was like, oh, what's your, he was talking about we could stay up till midnight and it was, it's a big deal. Could you make it to midnight? Tell your friends, I stayed up. No, you didn't. I saw you fall asleep. But Dad would say to me, he's like, you got to think about what your first word of the New Year is going to be. Okay. And I was thinking about it. I was like, why? He said, because it really matters. That's something that's really important. And
your first word.
Because, and I've realized that most people's first word of the New Year is probably happy. Isn't that interesting? That's probably like universally, like quite overwhelmingly so.
Yeah.
The data nerd in me is interested to find out what the other words would be. Probably people not paying attention, but happy is usually the first one. Of the people paying attention, happy would probably be the most, unless you just don't know that it's gone over to midnight.
Unless you got shot in the ankle with a firework that's gone off on the wrong angle. In which case,
the first of the year. But Dad told me when 2000 was coming around, peak Pokemon time, what's your first word of the millennium going to be?
Yeah. I thought this was going to be a Y2K thing, but no.
Yeah, that was weird, eh? I was young enough to know about that, but not young enough. I wasn't old enough to care what it was possibly meant to be.
But yeah, it was kind of a little bit over my head.
So everyone was a bit nervous. I thought maybe that was the first word for everyone on the first millennium was like, thank goodness. I think everything's still here. All the planes didn't fly out of the sky, whatever was meant to happen. All the nuclear bombs didn't launch. A lot of nuclear bomb chat over the last couple of episodes. But anyway, as the timer was counting down in my mind, I knew exactly what I was going to say. It was like 3, 2, 1, New Year, Bulbasaur. So that's a little known fact about me that you don't know. That was my first word of the millennium.
And you said
Bulbasaur.
it out loud? You said,
100% I said it out loud.
You got it on the record?
I waited for everyone else to go, Happy New Year! And I said, Bulbasaur.
So what have you been listening to this week?
Oh, well, did I have something last week? I think I did.
You
said you didn't last week.
No, but you were listening to like hardcore punk.
Like Minor Threat and that. I haven't really this week. I've been, honestly, and I don't want this to give anything away, but we say that and we always end up persuading.
No spoilers.
Yeah, but I've been listening to this album a lot this week.
Yeah. And other pub albums. Did you listen to any of the other ones?
I touched on Unraveling a Pup Band just for a bit of comparison.
All right.
Yeah.
I won't go any further.
But no, other than Pup, I haven't been listening to anything much.
Because I've got an idea.
Oh, yeah?
Remember last week we opened the book that you got from a very good...
was that last week or the week before? Or whatever. Yeah.
It was last week.
I can't remember. Time goes so fast these days.
Who gave you this for Christmas?
Oh, just this legend, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He must be.
Yeah.
Good taste. Anyway, so you got this for Christmas, 500 essential pop punk albums.
Yes.
And so like it's always a bit of a debate what we're going to do on the schedule. We've kind of got a rough idea about where the schedule is going to go for the year. But it's kind of also cool to kind of like keep things a little bit exciting.
Yes.
I was thinking maybe.
Because that's why we get people to send in suggestions too.
Exactly.
Yep.
But because there's like 500 albums in here, and there's bound to be albums that neither of us have heard of.
At the rate of, we do what, 14 to 18 episodes a season so far, I don't know where it is.
It's going to take us a decade to finish this book.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was thinking we could like randomly select some albums from this book to add to the schedule, like ones that neither of us have heard before.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah, because I mean, if they're on the 500 essential pop punk albums, chances are there's going to be some good ones.
Yeah. So how do you see that happening? Do we just? I mean, are you thinking we just pick it and that's the next week's? Because we already have some lined up.
Yeah, but how about we randomly pick one for each other each week?
Okay.
And we go away and we just have like a quick listen.
What are you listening to?
Yeah.
I get what
exactly,
you're going with this.
Yeah. And that's like a way of screening them. We can screen out the ones where we go, this person who drafted this book is, doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yep.
Not that I'm suggesting that.
Already 1-star review.
Trying to defame anyone. But yeah, that could like weed them down a little bit.
Yep.
And then, because I mean, we always talk about like we want to try and find like
the gems.
Like, yeah. It's like there could be legitimately, like there should be at least a couple in here that are like crown tier albums we've never heard before, surely.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. You can't go above crown tier albums.
Can we?
I was just excited. Yeah. But no, we'll find flames.
Anyway.
That's what I'm trying to say. We'll try to find flames.
Flame songs. Yeah.
Flame songs. Yeah.
Anyway, so how about we do that?
Mm-hmm.
So should I randomly select one for you and then you randomly select one for me?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Cool. All right. So I'm just going to like flick through.
Yeah.
Actually, tell you what, I'll flick through. You tell me to stop.
Oh,
and
that's like
be
a
the
magic
one.
trick.
And that's the one for you.
Why haven't I done card tricks yet?
I haven't inserted any like jokers in here.
Oh.
All right, ready? You just tell me to stop.
Well, I've got my shot. Stop.
All right. Oh, interesting. So one of them is...
How about if you got 2 on each page, read both of them out and then you pick for me what you think out of those 2.
Well, one of them is Bowling for Soup.
They're playing Newcastle. Either they have just played Newcastle or they're playing very soon.
Whereabouts?
Bar on the Hill, where we saw the other people. Yeah.
Who else is on the bill?
Frank Turner, which is real sick. I remember hearing him randomly one day as like acoustic folk artist. He's so good. I used to love him back in the day. We should have gone to that. Or maybe we can.
Maybe we still can.
Yeah, we'll see.
A pop punk book club excursion.
Everybody, permission slips in, please.
Yeah. Okay, so one of them is a Bowling for Soup album. Let's not do that because we know that band, even though I haven't listened to
I actually don't know much about Bowling for Soup. I know a couple of their singles, but I don't maybe I've listened to one album once.
So
we did one in the BC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of them is A Hangover You Don't Deserve by Bowling for Soup. I do know this album, sorry.
Okay.
And then the other one is a band called The Unlovables.
Okay, I've never heard of them.
Okay, the album's Crush, Boyfriend, Heartbreak.
Okay. Maybe we'll do the Joaquin Phoenix, thumb up, thumb down, of whether we add it to the pool of what we select from.
Yep, good call.
Yep.
Can we think of like a Pop Punk Book Club themed version of that? That's putting you on the spot.
That's metal, isn't it?
All right, so the one I'm going to pick for you is The Unlovables.
Okay, Unlovables.
Yeah.
Unlovables, and what's it called?
Crush, Boyfriend, Heartbreak.
All right, I'll listen to it throughout the week.
I'll hold this up so everyone can see.
Are you inviting me to essentially a premature evaluation of sorts?
Ooh, I might be.
But it's a premature evaluation because we haven't actually evaluated it. We're looking to see if we're going to sort it out. Anyway,
right.
Shut up, Jayson, inside my head. All right, let's go. You tell me when to stop.
Stop.
You don't get an album this week because you're greedy. You need to learn a lesson. All right, tell me when.
Prematurely evaluated.
Do you remember when we played that drinking game that time and I just kept sleight of hand shuffling in the card that Kale didn't want to get? And he was about 6 beers deep going, again? Every time he flipped a king over, I was at his house. And then it took him that long and I was showing him in front of the move that I was doing. He still didn't get it. At one point he was saying, wait a minute. Chase being like, he's this like blind drunk. Anyway.
Stop.
Oh, okay. All right. Actually, I'm stoked about this.
Oh,
this
really?
is a really cool game. All right. This book smells good.
Is it?
Yeah. Smell it. The Menzingers, by the way, that's just one that slipped to. That I remember considering them.
We have thought about them for the schedule.
Yeah.
I think we should do one of their albums at some point, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The 2 albums I got here are Bliss, A Will Away. But that's only 5 songs.
Oh,
interesting.
Okay.
But the other one is Teenage Bottle Rocket.
Oh,
I don't know if you know much about them, but we've talked about a lot about how we like Ramones-esque.
Yes.
And it's divine intervention. It's meant to be.
Yep.
I said about finding more bands like the Ramones.
Yeah, you did.
I know these guys are down that vein because when Batfoot play, they play a lot with Teenage Bottle Rocket and they're a lot of the times on compilations with them, etc.
Yep. And we've got Batfoot in our schedule as well.
Oh, yeah?
We do.
We have to get them in.
Oh,
yeah. Because they don't live far away. And album's called Tales from Wyoming.
Tales from Wyoming.
By Teenage Bottle Rocket.
Okay.
That's sick. What an idea.
Awesome.
Yeah, Tales from Wyoming.
All right.
And mine, I can't remember, but I'll listen back on the episode and get it and listen to it this week.
Cool. Another good segment.
Oh, yeah. We got segments coming out of our bloody asses. I tell you, we've got so many good segments. Oh, man. There's I made a joke, I think it was last episode, about how we need a segment for when you say those ridiculously underutilized words. Whatever. Wank down. Wank down.
Wank down.
Wank down, everybody.
He's also desecrated the shrine of bloody
Boomer.
Oh, no.
Okay, let's just leave it. This place is we talk nicely
Poor
about the
Jerry
show.
Finn. Sorry, Jerry.
Couple of comments from Jimmy Eat World from the Futures episode. We can quickly go through.
Yep.
Someone said it's a really underrated about Jimmy Eat World, a really underrated band. I say someone because I accidentally screenshot it and cut off their name. Really underrated band, in my opinion. Loved the nostalgia of Futures and earlier, but more recently listened to more recent stuff, and I love it. You said in that reel something like you are listening to more Jimmy Eat World than ever before because of how good Futures is. That is overwhelmingly the response we're getting back from people is like Jimmy Eat World is just so damn consistent. Everything they do is pretty much good.
Because
even new stuff.
I must confess, I haven't listened to a Jimmy Eat World album post
Chase This Light.
Yeah,
I remember you saying that.
Have you listened to any of the more recent ones?
No, I don't think so, but maybe somewhere. But
they've actually got a new
so.
one. Like there's one that's come out. I could do a premature evaluation of one next week.
Yeah, a request. A premature request.
Can you do like request a premature evaluation?
There's a king for that. Future slaps so hard. Oh, sorry, this is Vorpal Rabbits 4927 says Future slaps so hard, but like there's something to some of their newer singles, Something Loud and 555 are great. There we go.
Cool.
Right on the money. You want a premature evaluation?
Yep.
Those are the songs. Something Loud and 555.
Yep. All right.
Reminds me of 155 by Plus 44. Someone did say, which I actually related to on a more serious note because I did say this in the previous episode. He said, Chase This Light was the soundtrack to my crumbling marriage and eventual divorce back in 2007. Shockingly slept on classic. And my response was,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I said to him that I say in this episode that Chase This Light got me through depression and it makes it hard for me to listen to now. I totally get it. But that album is something special, I think. He has that way of connecting with you emotionally in ways that you potentially didn't. Don't expect they're just like so built to be flame worthy. They're like a flamey band.
Yes, because there are songs that aren't necessarily like what you might ordinarily think of as a crown, but you just connect with it so hard.
Yeah, and it's all, again, because of his delivery and conviction. And then Dr. Stephen M. Foster.
A doctor?
Yeah.
A doctor of pop punk?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's the, we're a high-class show, this, of course.
Yeah,
you need a minimum of a doctorate to listen to this show. He said, consistently brilliant. I think there is only one Jimmy album that I do not return to, and that is Invented.
Cool.
So out of all of them, maybe that's like a premature evaluation, but you hit the alleys, the crime alleys, just to see, is there anything being discarded over here? He said, does not quite hit for me. And I said, yeah, they're genuinely so consistent. You're right. So, I mean, there you go. There's a couple of things to look into for Jimmy Wild.
Nice.
So you came here, suggesting that we flick through a book, and you've ended up with bloody, premature evaluation request. Every time I go to say that in my mind, I nearly slip.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
All right, hit me, Greg.
He finds a new song from a brand new record, then tries to give it his best 10 seconds. That's all it takes for him to tell you what he reckons. It's premature evaluation with Sam.
You want to take that again, or are you committing to that?
Oh, that's so funny. Anyway,
I go back to listen to that jingle more than I care to admit. Very good.
If it was back in the day, I'd be like, can you burn that for me? Honestly, just pop it in your car.
Are you a fan of Joyce Manor?
No, I've heard the name before, but I never listened to it.
Oh, right.
Oh, someone said I should get fired from this show, by the way. Finally, it's taken like 15 episodes or longer for that to happen, but it was because you said on one of the reels, Newfound Glory has a new album out, and I didn't know. He's like, he didn't know Newfound Glory had a new album out? Fire him immediately. I was like, I don't know why it hasn't happened yet.
He's not qualified. I don't. That's so good.
I don't follow much new music. Admittedly, I just don't have the time to. But
particularly for bands like Newfound, where it's like we were fans of them like 20 years ago. I don't know.
It's like back then when I had less to think about, I was actively trying to find new music. But now I'm like, I'm grateful for what I have. So it's like, it takes a lot to get in my circle of listening. And then once you're in it, like you're in it, but I don't actively go seeking.
But I think we need to make an effort though, because we're going to find gems.
Hence the new stuff.
But
hence this bloody segment.
Exactly. Yeah. This segment, are we getting any feedback about this segment?
I don't know. I don't think Reels is usually where people comment because it's shorter form.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Do we have a mailbag or anything?
Lock bag, crow's nest. Remember that one? That's funniest doing videos. That's what that was.
I was from the footy show. I felt like everyone's lock bag was it. Crow's nest. Anyway, getting back to the segment at hand. Joyce Manor have a new album called I Used to Go to This Bar.
Yeah.
And you know what this band is known for?
No.
It's right up my alley.
I don't know anything about this band, really. So from the name.
They're known for short songs and short records.
Oh.
This album is 19 minutes long.
Do they utilize D-beats to make those songs shorter?
No.
Oh, well, then I'm out.
Yeah, no, they don't.
Like Shark Tank.
And it's interesting, one of
that's a new segment idea. It's like with some kind of Shark Tank pun.
There's the door.
Yes, I'm out. Sorry. For that reason, I'm out. No D-beats.
That's an interesting... I want to explore that further when we get to talk about this week's album, because they're known as like a pop punk band.
Okay.
But it's interesting to think about what is considered pop punk nowadays.
Yes.
Because my immediate, response to it is that they're a bit more like, it's like pop rock with a bit of like emo pop in it. I hear like a little bit of Motion City, a little bit of Jimmy Eat World at times, but there's also kind of like a bluesgrassy kind of element to it.
Oh, wow.
As well.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's cool.
Yellow Card really changed everything, didn't they?
Not quite like that, no. But look, there's definitely some songs on there. There's a couple of possible crowns on this album. Yeah. All My Friends Are Depressed, and I Know Where Mark Chen Lives. I'm not sure who Mark Chen is.
All right.
Yeah, those songs are great.
Sick.
This little short 19-minute album is
19 minutes.
Yeah.
That's why you were attracted. So I could do a whole album. You haven't done a whole album. Even with the Newfound Glory one, I think you just
even on a
to
premature evaluation, you can do a full evaluation of this one. Yeah, check it out, everyone.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out too. Joyce Manor, what's the album?
I Used to Go to This Bar.
Right. Let us know, by the way, if you're hearing us ramble about this and you like the bands we're talking about, if you know Joyce Manor and there's a better album for us to start on, let us know.
Because I actually listened to got my flip-flops on. Flip-flops, my sandals. I actually listened to some of their older stuff as well to kind of get a better feel for their band, and their older stuff was a bit punkier.
All right, cool.
But listen to this. These are the bands that they consider their influences. Blink, The Smiths, Rancid, Jawbreaker, Against Me, and Weezer.
All right.
So that kind of gives you a vibe
Good
of where
little
they're
mix.
at. Yeah. Okay. Morbid Stuff.
Yes.
PUP.
Mm.
We talk about how like the book club is like a way to find, like we've said already on this episode, like find like new gems in terms of like songs and albums, but also to like find new bands that we love. PUP are like my favorite band that I've discovered through the book club.
I'm really sad that our listeners weren't with us for that discovery because that was in the BC PPPPVC.
Yes.
I'd never heard PUP before. You had never heard PUP before.
No.
You suggested we listen to PUP for the first time. I had no idea about this band whatsoever. And you suggested we listen to their new album at the time, which was The Unraveling of PUP the Band.
Yeah.
And that was
like 2020?
2022, I'm pretty sure.
2022.
I think it was around then. And I mean, admittedly, it wasn't like when it first came out. It was like we listened to it maybe a year later.
Oh, okay.
But that's the first time I ever heard that band ever. And they won me over so quickly.
You had a premature evaluation.
Yeah, the other one. The first thing, if you're a PUP fan, the first thing I ever heard of PUP was Four Chords, the opener from Unraveling of PUP the Band, which is, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, it's got this like kind of, like that whole, and I mean this with love, but that like dweeby piano, I'm singing kind of soft and it's kind of like corny, and then he's playing on like a toy piano. And at first I was like, do I like this? Do I not? Because it could come off a bit cringy, like I'm being funny. Is this band going to be a silly indie band or something? And then he hits that.
Shots fired.
I mean, I don't like that genre
Yeah.
when people do that stuff. But then I was like, no, I kind of get it. I get where he's going.
Yeah.
He's like,
It's like satirical.
satirical about the industry and labels, etc. I imagine him almost like performing for a label, like a boardroom, you know, just like showing his new songs. Then he screws up that note, and that just caught my attention. Of like, hang on, what? And I'm like, oh, that's funny. Then the song just goes and just explodes in, and I just floated through the roof of my house. I was like, what is this sound?
Because you loved the production on that album.
So I've never heard oversaturated stuff like that before that just works in the genre that well like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's noise pop punk in a way, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is incredible. And I loved that album.
Yes.
Loved it. And we didn't have the rating system at the time. I think I came away from it saying I gave it a 5 stars. It was one of the, like, we only rated like up to 5 stars. So we didn't have the rating system yet.
Yeah.
And then a little bit later, you're like, we should listen to other stuff.
Yeah.
And you suggested Morbid Stuff. And I didn't like it as much.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't love The Unraveling of PUP the Band as much as you did. I came away from it being like, oh, I like a few of these songs, but I'm not sure this is for me. But something must have made me go back and listen to some of their other stuff. Maybe it was because like they were kind of like labeled as a pop punk band. And I was like, I don't really see this as pop punk. Maybe some of their older stuff is. And that's when I found Morbid Stuff. And I was like, holy.
I think because when I heard, my first exposure was that. So that was what that's all I knew PUP to be. So my view of PUP was that album. And then I heard a lot of people say that essentially that's not their best album and it's not the most representative of them as a group. And so I went back and listened to Morbid Stuff and I was like, it's cool, it's good, but I like, this is almost like it's we're talking about Pokemon, the middle evolution before they get to their big evolution at the end, which in a way is true because that's where they've evolved to be now. But with Morbid Stuff, I always thought it was just not as good as the album I heard. The reason I loved it so much, and this I think is the most accurate, in my opinion, way to describe at least why I love PUP, but what PUP sound like to me. I think PUP sound like if Brand New went on the exact same like sound, but decided to stick with the Your Favorite Weapon sound over going down the dark emo route. It's like so much of their stuff with the distortion and that sounds like Daisy by Brand New, that really messy, loud, noisy stuff. But that's the emo dark sound. This is like the Your Favorite Weapon, brutal lyrics, pop punk kind of rough sound. And there's times where I'm like, that sounds dead set like Brand New vocally, like the way the vocals move.
This album
and the next one as well. That song, Waiting, I think, or the chorus says Waiting.
Yeah.
In the second one. That chorus sounds like Brand New.
Yeah.
But not the Brand New that everyone knows. It sounds like, I don't know, you can hear it within it. But I have to say, I've listened to it kind of almost was like whenever we talk about PUP, that Unraveling was my album, Morbid Stuff was your album. That's all, we separated there. But over the years, I have gone back and checked this album out, not to the extent I've done this week. This is why I've really wanted to go back and go through it to see if I really, really liked it or not. So that's it. But it's not like I have the answer, or I mean, I do now because I've done it, but I didn't have the answer last week. I had to go back. I really wanted to go. I wanted to wait to do it in the book club to do it properly.
I'm so excited to hear your thoughts about this album.
Individual songs, because who knows? Maybe I feel the exact same way. But I can tell you now that I have a new perspective on this album because I think I know more about PUP because I've gone back and listened to previous albums as well to get a bigger snapshot of the band.
Yep. It's interesting to think about PUP, a punk/pop punk band. But in like the early 2000s, you wouldn't have considered them a punk band, I don't think.
No. It was a bit of a revelation this week, actually, where I was like, this is really punk, like new age punk attitude.
New age, yes.
Aggression. It doesn't sound like punk typically does, but I think this is such a punky album in bits.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
There's like an attitude to it and a scrappiness.
Yes, the scrappiness, the attitude, the even down to the production is like, it doesn't sound like they've, polished everything and like really hard, like glossed the drums up. There's no even real samples. It's like real kit, real sound.
Yes. Very few D beats. Like it's not that. Yeah. There's some, but it's very few.
Yeah.
It's not that. Whereas like punk used to be based around that. Now it's evolved. And like a lot of the bands that are considered pop punk now are in this, not this vein exclusively. There's some that are in this kind of vein. And then there's other bands that are kind of in a more of, what I would have considered more of like an emo pop kind of vein.
Yeah. It's all splintered but crossed over, etc.
Yeah. Like and I think it's all been contaminated, in my view, by the emo movement of like the 2000s. Yeah. Even guys like this.
Contaminated is the right word. And I know you don't mean that negatively, but it's definitely, it's been a pervasive force over the songwriting construction. Yeah.
And it's almost like it's more, I don't want to use the word acceptable, but it's more like commonplace, I think, for people to like sing about their emotions in a way that's like more raw and open than it was in like the early 2000s, I guess. Like people express themselves differently now.
I think in general, mental health has become a much more accepted thing to discuss and less taboo as a topic in general, which I think that's the reason why, or part of the reason why the emo movement did so well is because so many people post 9/11 probably had so many, and I don't mean specifically just because of that event, just in general with the internet and the way things move faster, but obviously with that event as well, people had so much pent up. It's like how grunge allowed the cathartic processing in the 90s for a lot of teenagers. I think emo did that into the 2000s because it was almost because of that movement that people got more comfortable talking about mental health, which is probably did a net good for the world. There was a lot of negatives that came from it.
Yes. And speaking of mental health, like this is like such an album about mental health as well.
Yeah. But from specifically, he says, the album details heavily with the theme of mental health. Singer Stefan Babcock, has said, it's about accepting the darkness and the moods and all the bullshit that comes with it and just trying to find that little pinprick of light in it, being able to laugh at yourself and understand that although you might be in a dark place, it can be funny sometimes too. He said, my weakness is that I'm not a poet. My strength is that I can pretty much say exactly what the I'm feeling and thinking and have it be very clear. And I said that to me, and I hear it a lot on this album, is Motion City Soundtrack. So literal lyrics. So, I mean, even in Kids, he's like, his girlfriend criticizes him saying, your lyrics are way too literal, because it's just so literal. But because of that, it's so authentic.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's always this weird gray area where it's like, do you be more broader to be more accessible so everyone can fit their story under that umbrella? Or do you give your specific story of exactly what happened to you and just the inherent authenticness of your story, for lack of a better word, will be what attracts others to feel like that they might not be able to relate to your exact story, but because you've been so authentic through some act of reciprocity, they feel compelled to share theirs. And that's why people would connect with disconnected or disparate stories, I guess.
Yeah. It's such a good point. Because I think there's a couple of times on this album where I've been like, that's such good storytelling.
Yeah.
Because of the specificity. Like, I think if you're going to be singing about really any topic, if you're sticking at that kind of level of generality, you can slip into cliches really easily, particularly if you're singing about mental health, I guess.
Yeah.
But because he's so specific, it becomes so genuine and authentic, but somehow he's so good at it that you can empathize.
Yeah.
With the broader themes that he's talking about.
Because it's like, I can't relate to that exact story, but you've obviously felt how I feel. And my story is a different way of getting to it, but we've arrived at the same destination. Yeah. Emotionally.
It's really effective.
Yeah. I think that the lyrics also can be, as he said, he tries to have a bit of humor with it. But there's also a note in a later chapter where he said, we don't want to lean too far into the mental health stuff and be like dwell in it, because essentially like everyone's going through stuff and it's just, the album could be really dark if we did that. And it's like, it already is pretty dark.
Yeah.
If he didn't have that like satirical laughing at his situation kind of thing, it could be one of the most heavy lyrical albums. Like
it still is.
Yeah, it is now. That's what I'm saying. But if he fully fell into the darkness, who knows?
Well, did you see his quote? I think it's included under one of the songs, but it's like where he's like, "There's brutal emo, and there's like
that's the one I'm thinking of. I think
like this could be brutal emo.
Yeah, exactly.
If we didn't have like the irony that they've got at being able to like laugh at themselves.
Yeah.
And they're so self-aware.
Yeah, self-awareness is what I was thinking. Yeah, that's really good.
Which is also really interesting to contrast this to like brand new, I guess, and like emo music from like the early 2000s, mid 2000s that didn't have the self-awareness, I don't think.
No, and I think because it was still finding its feet as a genre, and I think that now it's almost a thing of like, because as he said, the fact that he stands on the plateau to be able to look back and see brutal fucking emo and go, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
At the time you were amongst it, you didn't realize that you were being one of those bands. And also that was a way to gain attention, was just to be shocking in how brutal that your lyrics got.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
It makes your Motion City comparison, I think, really relevant because I would say they're a very self-aware band.
Yes.
Way more self-aware than a lot of the other bands at the time.
Yeah.
And his lyrics are in a very similar vein to these ones.
True.
Probably not as bleak, but...
Yeah. And also both bands pull from, which I always think this, and I've got notes about it as well. I don't know any specific bands that I could just be like, bam, that band, like sort of thing. But like so many 90s pop rock bands, not bands like Third Eye Blind, more like bands like Hootie and the Blowfish, bands like that.
Yeah, okay.
Who was the band that did that song? She likes me for me, not because. Those types of gimmicky kind of stuff. I hear Motion City soundtrack, or at least that in Motion City soundtrack. Those, she, all the specific, like overly literal lyrics where it's like something in Dexter. I think his name was Steve. Like whatever the lyrics were there, and it also said, "Not my collection of DVDs." Then it rewinds the song.
Yes.
Like just little gimmicky bits like that. When I hear Justin. Right, from Motion City soundtrack being like, because I hate the ocean, theme parks and airplanes, it's very similar that.
Yep.
But with this as well, I can also hear that 90s influence in PUP, where they do a lot of the tremolo guitars and then the ooh singing over the top, doing the exact line that the guitar's doing. That to me just screams like 90s pop rock.
Yeah, right.
Which I think is sick because they don't sound derivative. They sound like they're pulling from those palettes, but they know what they want to sound like, which is the sound of PUP. And now if any other band does something similar, you're going to sound derivative of PUP.
Yes.
Like they've actually established themselves, which is really cool.
And they're so unique sounding.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like their perspective is really interesting. How they're like, we don't want to fetishize mental health problems.
Yeah.
And they're singing about, like there's a song about how the music industry kind of does that and it kind of exploits people. And and how they feel like a sense of conflict about like profiting over airing their problems, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Like,
but then I think I have a note on that. That's like kind of the the main conundrum of being an artist. The plight of an artist is that you have to lean into your mental health, but as you said, fetishizing it.
Yeah.
I will say though, you and I both have a pretty special connection to, I think, the lead singer from this band.
Oh yeah?
Yep. That a bond that not many people share.
3 testicles.
No. We talked about this. I'm not in that club. We, all three of us, read Jurassic Park last year.
Oh, you told me about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was on Substack looking around at what it was all about, and I saw that. I think it's Stefan from PUP. Maybe I could be wrong, but someone in PUP has a blog, and he did an article about all the books he read last year because he said he's a bit of a recluse with his reading, like on the road.
Yep.
And has essentially a social battery that can drain quite quickly. So he likes reading backstage. And he read so many books in a year. It was like over 30 or something like that.
Oh,
and he
impressive.
gave his favorites and then said that some like honorable mentions. And one of them was Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. And I was like, we both read that last year as well.
Oh, actually, I read it January this year.
Oh, you're out of the club then.
I know.
Sorry, it's just me and Stefan. You're in the second iteration.
What was he on his list of like his actual favorites?
A lot of books I haven't read.
Not 3 Body Problem.
No, not 3 Body Problem. Oh, I can't wait to read the second book of that.
You must be on track to read 30 books this year.
I think so. I've read 16 already since November last year, but take away 4 out of that. So 12 or so since the start of this year.
Yeah.
And some of them are massive. They're like fantasy books. So they're big, like 700 pages plus is in a lot of the books I've read.
I told you, I purposely look for skinnier books.
Just to say I've read so many.
Yeah.
I've read so many books this year. They're all pamphlets.
Yeah. That's why the fantasy genre intimidates me. They're all like 1,000 pages.
I thought that until you actually realize how good it is to just be so like everything that's good about a book that's this big, if you have a good fantasy book, it's that for just more of it. And it's just so deep. We're essentially reading the equivalent of multiple fantasy books with Section Lou with 3 Body Problem.
I guess that's right. Yeah.
Massive. Anyway, I will say before we move on, warning for listeners. Okay. That's not as much the Pop Punk Book Club. No, but warning. I'm going to nerd out about time signatures on this album because there are multiple and I loved some time signatures back in the day. Loved them. And I love counting them out. I was like a Dream Theater nerd back in the day.
Yeah.
Now, this is not quite at that level, but how often do we get to nerd out about time signatures when they work well and are not forced? And they do it a lot on this album, and I'm really keen to.
I look forward to it. And
you
know what? at the end of the episode when we do our review for next week's episode, and next week's like album, and you've got to do a drum beat. Let's try and channel that.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. Before we start, I'm going to make a prediction.
All right.
I'm going to go on record and say there is not, I'm going to will this into existence, there is not going to be any big discrepancies in this. I think we're going to be close for this album. We'll see. I just don't, I would be shocked. And here I am setting myself up for absolute disappointment if we have massive, if we're massively.
I think that's right. There's a very good reason for that. We might not say now. We might save it for the end of the episode for our final thoughts. I think there's a good reason.
Okay, I'm interested to hear what that may be. But I would be so shocked if we're not in agreement for a lot of this. We say when is it going to be when we're exactly aligned? Let's see if we are.
I don't think we'll be exactly aligned. Do you think we could do an album where we're no more than one score apart?
Honestly, for a good shot, I think we might be for this album. Just because I feel like knowing what we both like, I think we shouldn't have any big things. Even the songs that I might have rated lower, I think you might as well.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll see. That's where the tension is. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, let's go. Let's see if we get it right from the beginning.
All right. Morbid Stuff. What did you give it?
Flame.
Oh, you gave it a Flame?
What'd you give it?
I gave it Crown.
Oh, okay. We're close. We're within one.
Close. We're within one. Yeah.
I was so ready to give the high five. I love this song, man.
Yeah, it's a great song.
It hits me so hard in the feels. And there was a day to me, I think I would have had this at great when I first heard it. I think it's, as you know, I thought it was pretty good. But I just didn't fall in love with it. And there was one day not often. I have done it many times, but I need to admittedly get back into it more. But I have a cycle path out the back of my house and it goes all the way down to the lake and around the lake.
Yeah.
And one day I went for a bike ride and it was in the mid-afternoon and I was listening to music and Morbid Stuff came on.
Yes.
And I never do this ever. I never ever stop riding unless I get to the end of the ride and take 2 seconds for a break, have a drink, get back on my bike and ride again.
Yeah.
About 20 kilometers around, there and back. The route, that's the race that I do. It's not a race, but it's the routes that I do. But as I came back past the creek,
you're going past people that are just taking a quiet stroll by the lake
with their prams. Yeah, exactly.
Sucker!
I saw a guy legit on the S-bendy part of the cycle path next to the lake on a dirt bike. Those dirt bike guys are like vermin, man. They're everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
And the e-bikes who don't have the speed limiters on them.
E-bikes.
Well, the other day I was driving with him, a 15-year-old kid that was on a footpath. You can't be on a footpath with him. And I was matching speed with him to see how fast he was going. 45 k's an hour.
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway.
There's probably 3 kids on the back. None of whom have helmets on.
Yeah. Anyway, so I put my bike over and just laid.
I sounded so old just then.
Yeah. We sound so get off our lawn sort of thing from the porch. The book club would come from a retirement home on the porch sort of thing.
The guy that the postie that delivers mail to our house often rides his bike on the lawn between our neighbor's house and our house instead of going on the road, and I feel really bitter about it. I want to say something to him because it always leaves a divot in the lawn as well.
He'll spit in your mail next time.
Yeah.
But we'll do it from the retirement home doing Pop Fun Book Club. New Fat Glory's got its 102nd album out. But this song, I remember pulling the bike over and laying on the river side. I don't know what made me do it because I usually would just ride home. And I laid there looking up into the clouds, listening to Morbid Stuff. And I was like, this is one of the most special, by the river. I was like, it's one of the most, or the creek. But one of the most special moments of listening to music.
Was it really a nice sunny day?
Yes.
Because I can picture this is we were talking about Futures being a really good album to drive through the night in the rain to.
Yeah.
This is even though this is such a dark album, this is like a summer afternoon.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
For me.
Well, this was a wintry kind of afternoon. It was a bit cold, but I just remember laying there at the creek just listening to the song being this is magic, this song.
Yeah.
I just felt like it spoke exactly to emotions that I could connect with. And I was like, I love this song. But it's one of my favorite openers ever. I stole this from you in the draft.
Oh, you did too. Yep. This is why you gave it a flame. You took it in the draft. Yeah.
I did say all of those songs were flame picks for me. I think everyone in the draft.
Yeah, cool.
But I think this is an example of one of the songs on the album that is just so punk in its own way.
In its own way.
Yeah. It's a song that's spitting at life and to you sort of thing. And just, it's so, the lyrics literally start with what could be perceived as an OCD spiral. We just compulsive thoughts and just get stuck and just spiral downward into feeling nauseous and sick. And I'm like, that's how the album starts.
Yeah.
It's so good like that.
What a lyric to start the album with.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole first verse is one sentence.
Yes. And it's so honest where you're he's thinking about if anyone he slept with his dad. And it's that's so really are you okay sharing that? It's very, very personal.
Yeah.
And But also, just starting with, again, the reason I can tie it to Motion City is because that's another artist where I go, I'm not going to say that there's like a gatekeeping mental health, but there's some people where you go, like mental health is quite broad and it can get very deep and it can splinter off into many different ways. And everyone's experienced it in their own way. But sometimes when people talk about mental health, you go, oh, they went through, I mean, I can't tell people what they've been through, but at least from the lyrics they write, it might speak to more of like a depressive period or feeling lost or dealing with grief or something.
Yeah.
Then you hear this and you're like, oh, I think they've had something similar to what I've gone through. And that's where you find that deeper connection because you kind of feel like they're in the same club that you've felt pretty alone in.
Yeah.
Same with Motion City. The way he goes through list like lyrics, I'm like, that's so OCD. Like that is so... so yeah, I don't know. That's why I kind of relate to him, and I didn't think there was many others I could relate to as deeply until these lyrics have come along.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I gave it a flame. But I have to say I love starts off also not just with it sets the precedent for what the rest of the album's going to be.
Yeah. It's great for setting the tone for the album.
Also, the name being Morbid Stuff, and that's what the album's called. It's really setting the tone of the album. But also the time signatures. Ding, ding, ding. First time I'm going to nerd out about time signatures.
Yeah.
I've never known what they were, but they love slipping in they're always like, it depends. People count time signatures in different ways, but they love slipping in like a 6/4 bar or a 7/4 bar.
I was going to say, it sounds like they're slipping in a shorter bar every now and then, rather than being consistently in a different time signature.
Yeah, well, this one is 6/4 5/4.
Right.
Dun, 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 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah, not 3/4, which a lot of people think. What's the difference between 3/4 and 6/4? But it's not 6/4 5/4 bar. I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
But
you learn things. You come to the book club.
That's it. You come here for. There's a lot of stupidity, but I feel like we might make some good points every now and then. You just have to, like the book club, we have to dig through a lot to find the diamonds and the gems. But just the whole story of him telling about everything about his life and where the position that he's currently in. It's almost like it's like a prologue of a book, like setting the context for what is to come of like, this is where I am in my life and this is where the lyrics are coming from.
Yeah.
And also his life around him with the other people. I just love also the way, because it's so raw and honest, so written like it's come from a journal or at least just a stream of thought. He, like when the song blows up, it's when he's actually blowing up. It's almost like the song supporting the lyrics for what they're saying. Yes. Like that part where he says, I feel like I'm about to throw up. That's when the song gets really loud because that's the most pivotal part or the most important part of the lyric.
The lyrics definitely feel very like a diary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or as I said, just like a stream of thought of like sitting on a therapist lounge and just talking about how you feel.
And he's such a unique vocalist as well. And I guess it's because he's fitting the melodies around these lyrics where it's like just really long sentences.
Yes.
But like his phrasing in terms of his vocals, it's so unique.
And especially when they go up and start like yell singing. Like that to me is PUP. When you hear that, you're like, that's the PUP sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the almost spoken word verses that he sometimes resorts to. Not necessarily on this song so much, but yeah.
On that note, alrighty. So kids.
Crown.
I say Crown for this one as well.
Yeah.
Look at that. We're still on.
We are
still on.
The bet is on.
It's just another banger. Straight into it.
Great pop song.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also the way that, as you're talking about the spoken word style verses, didn't grab me at first, but then I was like, I can see what he's doing here, and that grew on me.
Yeah.
And then when the chorus comes in, that it almost adds to the sarcasm of the song because it's that thing of like, well, it doesn't matter anyway. What was I don't care about nothing but you. But he's just talked about all the stuff that he cares about. So it's like it's almost like this tongue-in-cheek thing, like, well, as long as I have love, right? Like it's almost like he's self-aware of how ridiculous it all is.
But it's crazy that this is like his version of a love song. And it's like this person makes the world just slightly more bearable than it otherwise was. And he's like,
and then complains
he's bringing
about
the person down. Like, as, like the second verse is all about how he's bringing this person down. Like,
I just love that lyric where it says, I'm sick of it all. Your little games are getting old. Your little songs are getting way too literal.
Your little songs.
It's so patronizing. Yeah. But the idea being that being criticized for your lyrics being too literal. I'm like, can you imagine must be hard enough being in a relationship with someone who's a songwriter, because you must think that like anytime they write a song, it might be about you or inspired by you.
How paranoid would you be? Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of the times lyrics can be up for interpretation, but when you are this literal, it's like so obviously about the stuff that you know it's about. I went here, then I did this, then I got on a bus, then passed out on the bus. Like, I love that part in the previous song, by the way. Got home in the morning at 1:45 to 10. Love it a bit. But this chorus is, you can't help, even though it is kind of almost like self-aware of the satire of the song and the popness in general, you can't help but like unironically enjoy how poppy it is.
It's such a sing-along chorus. As you said, it's a banger.
It did take me a bit to appreciate this song, but it's definitely grown on me.
That's interesting. Is because of the vocals in the verse?
Yeah, I think it wasn't what I expected. And from that, I was like, I went from not creatively, but like, you got like creative brain, rational brain. I'm like in flow enjoying it to rationally kind of, I've got to understand this into like mental, intellectual energy rather than, I mean, that sounds like, that's what it is, but it sounds like I'm bigging myself up there. I had to give it a bit of intellectual energy. But no, it pulled me out of like flow listening to it.
Okay. Whereas for this one, I mean, all of these songs like hit me straight away, but I think this one, because it's so melodic and so poppy, I think it just kind of grabbed me straight away. I love the line about living out the back of my 97 Camry.
You had a Camry, didn't you?
I had a 99 Camry.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's right.
That really hit me in the feels.
Yeah,
I have some fond memories of my Camry.
That's right.
Did you ever, you had like
I had a Hyundai Escapade.
Escapade.
Yeah, 1991 or 1993.
What was it? Jesse the Essie?
Jesse the Essie. Jesse the Escapade. And then I had Teason.
Teason.
Commodore wagon.
Teason.
We had I had this Commodore wagon, and back in the day in Australia, like people would have those personalized plates, and it would always be like drifting or something like that. And my car, like if you had money, you get the personalized plates that were completely personalized. But some people who were like cheap, they tried to like make the standard format like plates work to their advantage. And my car came with TZN, and it looked like it was the cheapest way possible to try to get like some kind of cool name. So we called it Teason. That's funny.
I had the Camry for way too long, and it got to the point. Do you remember this? The
lining of the roof sagged.
Yeah. It was like being in a tent eventually. It was just like,
I remember, I think Kale in the back just holding it up sort of thing while you're driving. I do remember also getting you a like a ticket like that night when we were going to the Great Northern. I was like, just park over there, just swing a Ewing, and you did. And it was like, whoop, whoop, police straight behind us. I felt so bad for years about that, actually. I was going to say about the 97 Camry lyrics, the fact that it is spoken brings more attention to the lyrics in this song.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why it kind of graded for you a little bit is kind of like, I guess it means it stood out.
Yeah, absolutely. It got my attention.
I know you've spoken about time signatures, but like structurally, a lot of these songs are really interesting as well. Like in this song, the bridge is so good. They also use it twice so that it kind of ends up becoming a second chorus.
Yeah.
It's like that section where it starts with, I had it maxed out. I had a feeling.
Yeah, that does sound like its own chorus when the way they repeat it. It's because
they separate it by, I think they go back to a verse and then they go to it again.
Yeah. But that is, I mean, the word gets thrown around a lot, but I don't think we use it a lot. Anthemic, but that is quite an anthemic section of like, that's a sing-alongable live part.
Yeah.
They do a lot of stuff with the vocals, which I think contributes to the pop sound. To me, it's heavy saturation, yelly, singy vocals. But when they do these sections, they must track the vocals a bunch of times. It sounds like a gang vocal section of themselves singing it.
Of just him.
Not like an actual gang vocal. Like
you hear gang vocals quite a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's like him doing it. And I think that adds to what sounds like a live energy on a recorded CD.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like built for live. And I think because their albums sound not like they're recorded live, but they have live energy, which is really hard to capture. They totally
have live energy. That kind of loose, sort of scrappy kind of vibe. Yeah.
Which is exactly like it. You wouldn't want to polish this band at all.
Not at all.
Like, can you imagine how like sterile that would sound?
Although it's interesting, this is going back to the unraveling of PUP the band. That's a bit more polished.
But
still somehow it doesn't lose the rawness.
I think that's the rawness dressed up in a tuxedo. I don't think it's like completely changed. You know what I mean? It's not like bringing in someone else to look like
it's one of those
rawness.
T-shirts with the tuxedo print on the front. All right, free at last.
Okay, I gave this one a great.
So did I.
Oh, we're still on.
Yeah.
There we go. I told you. I just have a feeling that we're going to be really close in this. We'll allow 1 point apart. So
that's it. Yeah.
If we're more than one.
So if it's 2 or more apart, we've lost. We've lost this episode.
Yeah. I don't even think it's a big deal that we went flame to crown because that's just personal feeling. It's not like we're rating it. I think there's a bigger gap if one of us went crown to great and then even more so great to good.
I agree with that, yeah. I flirted with a crown for this one, partly because the chorus.
Yes.
It's another banging chorus.
Yeah, but I think
one after another.
Compared to Kids, it's not as bangery. Still very, very good.
Yeah.
Sounds like an old metal song in the intro, the way it comes in with the minor riff at the start. Bit Sum 41-esque, like of when they do like Pain for Pleasure-ish kind of metal.
Yeah, sure. I like the contrast of that actually.
Yeah,
particularly when then it goes really poppy.
Because it grabs
real
your
major
attention.
sound in like do the verses go to that, or is it just in the chorus where it goes to a more major sound?
Either way, like
it's
the contrast, I think. Yeah.
Again, another like super self-aware song.
And I said it's such a modern punk sound. Like this, to me, this sounds like a modern-y kind of punk rock sound.
Yeah,
or
I agree
like
with
punk
that.
sound. Yeah,
Yeah. Although you do get some D beats in this one. It's the last chorus.
yes.
I've made a note.
It's just a little seasoning on the song. So they put D beats where you least expect it.
A bit of paprika.
You pick the spice that has like the least flavor. Paprika is just pretty much just color.
Imagine running a chorus where it's just she keeps saying, "Just because you're sad again, it doesn't make you special at all." And it just repeats it over and over again.
Yeah, because I mean, almost like it's internally a voice that keeps repeating itself to him, sort of thing. He said that the song is a self-targeted critique for using your personal pain as a crutch or an excuse for being an asshole. And so that's a point he makes later as well.
Yeah,
I think that's honestly it. He's struggling with so much mental health stuff, but he doesn't want to enable other people. He needs to get it off his chest. He also knows it could make people feel better, but he doesn't want people to dwell in it because maybe he feels like he's being told not to dwell in it, and it's that there's a lot of internal struggle with this album. I think
for sure. I kept thinking about like last week's episode. We were talking about Jimmy Eat World. They have a lot of songs that are very much in touch with their emotions.
Yeah,
and that album has songs about mental health as well.
Yeah,
it's just interesting the different approaches because with Jimmy Eat World, there's always kind of like that, and we spoke about this on that episode. There's always like a positive or uplifting irony to the songs, even though it's ultimately a sad song. There's always something uplifting about it. With PUP, it's like
it's more unhinged.
It's more unhinged.
Yeah,
that's a really good. Yeah, I
think
agree with that.
The mental health is a little bit more complicated. Like, for example, I'm not trying to say that Jimmy World has. That's the tricky part when you talk about mental health. I don't want to say, oh, he's been through stuff. Jim Adkins hasn't.
No, I think it's more just how they choose to express themselves.
Yeah, but a lot of times the sadness comes from a situation in which he's describing in the song that would typically be sad, like breaking up with someone, moving on, like losing someone. This is like, I'm just struggling to get out of, like to get through my life. Like that's a different level of mental health. Not comparing the two, but just it's a separate section.
And the irony comes more from like how self-aware it is and like his ability to make fun of himself. Like
the only other note I have for this song is that it really caught my attention. I was like, I don't know how they do the overly saturated production, like specifically.
Right.
Like I mean, as you know, people who listen to the show may know, I ran a recording studio for like 10 years. I like hearing the production and thinking about how they're doing stuff. They do it on this album, and it's even stronger on the next album. That it's like it's more rich, more they lean into it more. But I just have no idea like where it come from. Whose idea was that? Was it the producer's idea of like, let's try to up the saturation? Were they demoing and they're like, we like this sound when we're like overly distorted, like we're trying to get that sound?
Yeah,
probably the case. What are they doing? Are they just like pinning the needle on like saturation like plugins, or is it like outboard gear that's like they're running compressors way? So like. It sounds like analog gear that has a natural, but pleasing saturation. It's not digital clipping where it sounds like distortion and just like harsh sound. I'm really trying to figure it out. It's got this analog warmth to it, which I think adds so much to them that you don't typically hear in the genre. Because usually you hear too much saturation, you pull it back because that's not what you want.
Yeah, sure.
But they want that. And that's what makes them them.
I wonder who produced The Unraveling of PUP the Band and if it's the same person. I don't know.
This sounds like it may have come from the band because they might have like demoed something and gone, we like that. We want that raw sound because that's like really pushing out what we're trying to do. And they're like, we want more of that in the studio. Like as a producer, that'd be pretty hard to have a band come in being like, please do that. Because like, not that there's no going back from that, but like, this isn't what people typically want. But it's a cool take.
And I guess you'd be worried as the producer, you might get criticized by people. If it sounds that way.
Like, what is going on? Like, it's like when Metallica released Death Magnetic, and the master of that was pushed so hard that it was like clipping, and that was meant to be the Metallica are so loud that they're breaking your speakers. But people are like, it's not pleasant to listen to. They might have released a remaster of that without it being so clipped, because people didn't like they tried something creative and it didn't really work. It's weird that because Metallica did that with Saint Anger as well. It's like, you're Metallica, you could just release a standard produced album and people will love it just because you don't need to do the tricks. But it's actually funny that because with distortion in general, I remember when I went to Memphis, I went to Sun Studios and they talk about there that like essentially that's where distortion was invented because there was a guy who was booked for a recording session back in like the 50s or something. I can't remember when. And he was running late and his amp fell out the back of his ute and the speaker cone got perforated by a punch. And he was like, I can't cancel my session because I've already paid for it. I have to record. And he did with a broken speaker cone. And it sounds exactly like you imagine, not like distortion, but like a broken paper speaker cone.
Right.
And because they released that song, other people were like, "Oh, how'd you get that sound? Let's muck around with it," and they ended up refining it into distortion. So the whole reason all these genres
more
exist,
from just like they're pushing the amp to the point where it's like starting to break up, and that's where
I mean, probably that's where it gets probably a bit more gain and crunch and stuff. But to get to like the distortion sound,
I see what you mean.
Apparently that's what we got told that the whole reason all these genres exist is because of an accident. Yeah, on the way to a recording session.
Imagine if there was an Eternal that came along with a reality change.
So
maybe that's what that was.
That's probably
an Eternal. We need to create distortion. We need to create distorted guitars. I'm going to cause this guy's amp, like I'm going to put a pothole on the road that he's going to drive over that's going to lead to his car jolting, the amp's going to fall out the back.
Yeah, ask the guy. He's someone put their brakes on in front of me. I slammed my brakes on it.
Yeah.
It's in a tunnel.
This is kind of in a similar vein to what you were saying about.
You come here for pop punk, you stay for the Isaac Asimov.
I love the sound of guitars on this album generally.
Yeah.
Like the fuzzy guitars that they use.
They sound like the Fender Deluxe amps or something, just cranked.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like quite often in like the bridge in particular where you get a few like lead guitar licks and it's like that really like fuzzy sort of guitar sound.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome, particularly on this song.
It's fuzz. I think that's what they're using instead of distortion. It's like neck pickup on a telly. Like that's the kind of sound I'm hearing.
Yeah, okay.
Like, that single coil kind of sound.
Yeah.
All right, it's exciting me now thinking about each rating. It's like, we're going to keep it up. We're going to keep it up. Have we been bang on except for The Crown the Flame?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's see if we can do it again.
Wait, hang on a second. Did you go Crown for Kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we're bang on other than the opening song.
Right. All righty, so See You at Your Funeral. What'd you give it?
I said bad.
What? For a moment there.
I wish I could have held that for longer.
I for a moment there, I believed you.
Did you?
Yeah. What'd you give it?
Crown.
Did you? I gave it a great.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, so we are one apart, but that's fine.
That's within
acceptable range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the opening riff and the rhythm in that opening section is so good.
Yeah. I have my first note here. It's such bad note taking, but I showed another great song. It's just like in a row, just more of the same vibe.
Another
you signed
banging
up for.
chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said here that the part where he does the On Your Own, where he goes up high when he sings that part, it's like, especially in that whole chorus, but I mean, sorry, it is in that whole chorus, especially in that On Your Own where he sings it up high. If you ever want evidence for me to put forward that it sounds like Brand New, that's where it just sounds so much like Jesse Lacey singing up high.
I didn't even pick that up.
It sounds so much like Brand New. Like the
on Your Favorite Weapon, did you say? Or
no, like later albums. But if they were to do a more poppy, as if they're to do a Your Favorite Weapon sound, that to me just sounds like Brand New.
I love the energy of this song.
It sounds to me as what Brand New, like you won't know off Devil and God.
Okay,
like that type of. It doesn't sound like the song at all.
No,
but it sounds like it's made from the same palette, so to speak. Sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, just the energy of this song I love.
Yeah.
And again, I
said this song it does everything it needs to.
Yeah.
Like it's just so good for that.
Yeah.
Also the lyrics here where he says, I've actually highlighted quite a bit. Oh, baby, I want to know what you were thinking when you saw me in the produce section buying organic foods, making healthy selections.
Yeah.
So literal. I asked how you've been.
So Motion City as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say, but I was like, maybe I've said that too much. I asked you how you've been. Not that it's any of my business, but you know me. I've always been a little masochistic. A bit of a twist there at the end of that because I was like, I thought he was just going to say, I'm just interested or something. I was trying to make small talk.
Yeah, but he's trying to punish himself.
Oh, and her as well, kind of thing. Like, in like, because and then you're right, it's punishing himself. But then he says, I hope I never see you again, which is weird. Like to after seeing someone. Like being like, I ran into you, I wonder what you thought. And if I do, it's at your funeral. So like,
I love this last verse.
But it's implying that like, if she died, he'd still go to a funeral just to like, almost like celebrate the fact that she's dead. Yeah. Like that'll be when I see you. Or better yet, I hope the world explodes and I hope we all die. Like as I said, it's more like I don't care, but I do vibes, which is what the rest of the album is kind of as well. It's like, I don't even care anymore, but you've just shown that you do.
Yeah. And then the last line, we can watch the highlights in hell. I hope it's the televised.
Yeah.
That moment in the song I absolutely love because then it goes back to the chorus. And it's so effective. Like, it just hits you.
Yeah. Which that's a thought I had for an earlier song, but I was like, I don't really know if I want to go into the deeper theological consideration. But he says in Kids like that he's living the life of a godless existence. Yeah. And I wonder if he's saying godless existence because God doesn't exist, or godless existence because I am not connected with anything to do with the good in the world, so to speak. Like I'm in a godless existence.
Or he's lost his relationship with God if he happened to be religious previously.
Yeah,
maybe? I don't know.
Then he said we can watch the highlights in hell. As in the idea being that it's almost like he's living far away from the goodness of what life's meant to be. Yeah. And God doesn't exist in his world.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting kind of take. I'd love to hear.
There's other little tidbits throughout the album where there's like religious references in the lyrics.
Yeah. Especially it's interesting that where it's that battle where people will quickly dismiss it, but then have this internal kind of battle, like the devil and God is raging inside me. That's kind of like the whole point of that album as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this might be a song that we are a bit apart on. I talked about it not happening, and my money would be, if I was a betting man, that it would be on this song.
Are you going to let me down?
I don't know. I don't know what you rated it.
Okay. Whose go is it?
Yours. Have you gone high?
I've gone high.
Very high?
Ooh, high.
What'd you give it?
This is the hardest of flames
Okay,
for me.
we're apart then. I gave it a good. No, I'm joking. I gave it a great. So
A
we're
great?
close. Yeah. Yeah, I nearly gave it a crown. I did. But I just feel like I have a note here that said this is either a great or a flame. So
yeah, it's
on
not
a technicality,
what you ordinarily think of as like a banger. What you
no,
put in the crown category.
I think this is either a great song or a song that you connect with very deeply emotionally. So if we're going to be apart, is this a technicality? Like this is either a great or a flame. It's almost like the crown tier doesn't exist for this song because it's not trying to be a crown.
No.
But anyway,
this song crushed me the first time I heard it, and I find it still so moving now after having listened to it like 1,000 times.
Yeah. No, I thought you might give this. It has the energy of something that you would give a flame to because it's that reflective kind of life not passing you by, but that's kind of where it's saying it's a picture of a man who feels like he's missed his shot in life. It's that type of honest reflection, and that typically gets you.
I just think it's just perfect storytelling.
Yeah.
Because it's so specific, like unbelievably specific, and so because of that, it kind of avoids any kind of cliches. But then because it's like, despite being so specific, he still somehow makes it something that you can empathize with and you can kind of identify with. And I just think it's so powerful how it gets progressively darker.
Yes.
Like, if you notice that each verse, you get to one verse, you're like, whoa, that was dark. And then it just descends.
Yes.
To the point where it's like, it's pulling you down with it, where you almost feel like you're spiraling with this guy while you listen to the song. Like, I just find it so effective. And then it just abruptly ends on this line about finding the gun, his wife, his partner or whatever, finding the gun. Like, it's so dark. And I think it's such a journey song that it almost feels like it's got that almost like Johnny Cash-esque storytelling to it, where it's obviously not, he doesn't get as dark as this, but it's that thing where you just strap in for the ride. There's no part you really like sing along with, but it's like you just hear this auditory letter. That's what it feels like. Yeah.
And I think that's, to me, you're right. You either empathize with him or you observe it from a distance. Yeah. I felt like I was more in the audience watching him perform it rather than like with him in the song. But I do get it of like why it is so moving, because it's almost like this is one of the most raw and kind of like mature songs on the album.
This is the most that I've ever heard.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Fat Mike-esque like depth, but in a darker way, sort of thing.
Yeah, and more personal, I guess, in a way. But it's interesting that you say it's not sing-along, because I think there is, like, the chorus of the song to me still has this kind of anthemic kind of aspect to it, where it goes to, what is the chorus line?
Point proven. No, my point is that based on the previous songs have just been banging, like chorus sing-alongable, chorus sing-alongable. Or if you'd say that the right way, sing-alongable chorus, sing-alongable chorus, sing-alongable chorus.
I've been having some pretty dark thoughts.
Yeah.
It's still, like, the chorus is still, I think, quite sing-alongable and quite anthemic, not as much so as some of the other ones.
But just the way the song's structured, you can't really tell where it's going, so you can't really be ready for it.
That's a good point.
You're not anticipating it.
And that's actually one of my notes, because before the first chorus, it cuts back to that, there's like one single guitar with like a really dirty kind of guitar tone.
Yeah.
And then on the subsequent choruses, it comes back straight in from the verse and does kind of take you a little bit by surprise.
Which is, I think, what he's intending to do. There's a lot of intentional sound design in this, which I really like. I have a note here that just says, which is probably a little self-indulgent after I've talked about how deep this is, I wrote D beats because they just come out of nowhere. But ultimately, my last note here is essentially how I feel about the song. What a journey. It's just a journey song. I think I'd have to be in the right mood to listen to it. I don't think I just want to pop it on. And I think that's why I wouldn't give it a crown, because it's not a song that you would probably go, chuck that song on. But when you do,
because it's not a fun listen sometimes.
No, that's right. But it's challenging.
As you said, though, when you're in the right mood, it's just,
hence great or a flame. I don't think it can be a crown. I think it deserves its own rating system.
I think the bridge as well is so powerful when it goes to I'm on the brink. And it's kind of like it slows down into that halftime bit. I just find it one of the most affecting songs I've ever heard.
Yes, affecting. Affecting is the right word.
Yeah. Hard flame for me.
Wow. Alrighty, so closure.
Crown for me.
Yeah? Talking to hard flames, man. This is the hardest of flames for me.
Yeah, right.
I feel special that we've both had a hard flame back to back.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
Yeah.
We're talking about being one apart. Who knew that we were one apart in the songs with flames?
Just out of time.
This is genuinely, including the PD BC, which is the present day, and the BC PPPPBC, which is the before Christ pre-podcast Pop Punk Book Club. That's what that stands for those who have forgotten since the Christmas episode. This is easily the biggest gem find.
Okay.
Because I did not know it before the book club, and it's the song that I have fallen in love with the hardest out of all the songs. This is like obvious level, like Blink-182. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. This is that for me.
Should have said it's the same for me on the previous song. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Wow. This is the biggest of all the gems we've found. This is the biggest gem.
Wow. So why? Why are you so obsessed with this song?
I think it has everything I'd want in it's poppy, like it's easy to follow, it's structured, which admittedly I'm a bit of a sucker for. But it's just from the start, the way that it comes in with the riff and the sound, like the verse is just bang. And when it comes in, like cuts back to just the octavey guitars, it just seems like the perfect single. And it's not even a single on the album. I don't understand that.
That's a good point.
Like I looked at the start of like what the singles were, and I cannot believe that this wasn't a single.
Yeah, you're right.
But the way the verse comes in saying, the light was starting to fade and I could feel the reaper waiting in the tall grass feeding off the fever. And I couldn't figure out why you were down in the cold dirt. Something doesn't feel right. I need closure. The struggle of like a guy dealing with presumably loss. You could say that it's like a metaphor for a relationship ending, but I think it's quite literally, because he's very literal about dealing with someone who's passed away unexpectedly. Sure. And he's angry at them. He's like, where do you get off? When you thinking you can just cut me off. Like how that gets loud when I thought that we were connecting. It's so good, but just the way that they structure the choruses as well, when he's like, I need closure, and that cuts back to the tremolo guitars that they do, which is not just single notes, it's chords going.
Yeah, it's dirty and messy.
Yeah, but it's almost like strings where they do the tremolo on the strings.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it feels like that, which is sick. And then the song just keeps building back up to just get to this big, like even that, it's not I had the same dream with the rolling on the toms, and it's part of you, this is still part of me, builds, I need closure. It just gives me chills when I hear it.
Yeah. It's
so big. And then I could just nerd about the song forever, but the chorus line of the and then when the chorus keeps repeating, and then when he comes in with I was looking for something, it just has so much swagger to it.
Swagger's great.
Yeah. It's just so damn good. Plus time signatures.
I was going to say, there's another interesting time signature here as well, isn't there?
I've counted them out. 7/4/4/4/4/4. That's what it is in the intro. It's so essentially it's like 4/4, but with the second bar missing a beat.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So you could count it as.
That's what I was saying before.
4/4
every now and then there's a shorter bar.
Yeah. It's just so good. Like this song is just so special, and it's not a song like the previous song where it's particularly. I mean, thematically it can be quite challenging, but it's not like a particular dark song or a challenging musical song. It's quite predictable in its own way, but they play with the structure enough that it's so interesting. It doesn't feel like, well, of course I know where this is going.
Yeah.
But it's just so much energy. And that's the thing. It's just got this authenticity to it and an energy to it where I'm like, that's everything I'd want in a song. Like it does everything it needs to.
Yeah. I think swagger, you said before, is a great descriptor.
Yeah.
There's an attitude about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then everything you look at and zoom in on is flame tier for me. Like the lyrics, you zoom back in on like the way they handle the crescendo, flame tier. The way they handle the time signatures, the way they handle the drummer is so interesting in this band because he's not like overly show-offy, but the stuff that he chooses to do with his groups, especially around the time signatures, is really quite clever.
Sure.
Like it's not, the drum sounds are really kind of loose and fat. They sound like you're playing on, you go to like your cousin's house and they have a drum kit set up with towels on it and just like makes a lot of noise. It has that kind of vibe to it rather than a precise like Travis Barker-esque, like looking at Boxcar Racer up there, like that precise kind of precision kit. And I don't think PUP would lose so much of its sound if he was to use a kit like that.
It perfectly fits their sound, doesn't it? Yeah.
I just have a note here. This is probably what kicks it to a flame for me. Kicks it. It's a flame regardless. Yeah. But what really solidifies that is hearing 1-5-6-4 progression in the chorus. The standard pop punk progression, for those who don't know what that means. It's so timeless, but to use that in this genre of like using this 4-chord thing, it just works so well.
And I don't even really associate them with that chord progression. No, they don't seem to use it that much.
No, so when they
to be honest, I didn't even realize it was.
No, so I think that's probably what hit me in the feels because that's probably my favorite chord progression of all time. Yeah. It's so timeless, especially in pop punk. And for them to, in their sound, which is so musically kind of clever, to use that chord progression, it pays so much homage that it almost feels like hearing what's that song that they sing at New Year's where it's in America?
Old Lang Time?
Yeah. It's like that beautiful, sad kind of hopeful, but kind of whatever. It just adds so much emotion to it because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, it's got the prettiest bridge, I think, on the album too, with the
bridge. And it's totally different sounding as well.
Yeah, because it's almost like the energy's out and then just brings in.
Yeah.
And with the it's almost like it reminds me a little bit of like Tom DeLonge-esque like fiddly riffs that he does in the bridges of his songs. Like What's My Age Again?
There's something like Smashing Pumpkins-esque, and when it's that really quiet section with the
I never really listened
guitar.
to much of them, so I wouldn't know. But the ding 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 ding,
and then it just builds up again and fucking explodes.
Back to the chorus. But again, that's 4/4/4/4/6/4.
Okay.
Or 4/4/3/3. If you want to count it, it's 3/4. But it's not 3/4. That's what I said before. But whatever. So like time signatures.
I hope we get comments where someone's like, well, actually.
You probably have if you're looking for my armor to be down, I used to do this all the time. This is why I've loved doing it, because I used to do this all the time. It's
count
much
out
better.
time signatures.
Well, just for my job, I was songwriting coach and a guitar coach. So like I would do this all the time and work in music all the time. And I haven't done it in like 15 years. So it's been a bit of fun, but I'm probably a bit rusty. Look at my notes for this song with all the time signature notations that I've done for this. Well, we're getting to them.
All right. Bloody Mary, Kate and Ashley. What'd you give it?
I gave this one a great.
So did I.
Yep. So back
Floated with a crown.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Man, again, just another banging chorus.
But also, my favorite part's the intro. Not favorite part, but I love the intro.
Yeah.
That Discord kind of.
Yes.
And then to this weird, again, as I said, I've got the time signature notes here. So the intro, I love the chords, how they're kind of, they use a lot of the Discordy or just off chord progression chords that sound broken, but in a good way. This goes 6/4/5/4, 6/4/5/4, 6/4/5/4, 6/4/5/4, 6/4/6/4. Like, what an interesting take to not just repeat the 6/4/5/4, but at the last time go 6/4/6/4 into the verse.
Yep. One of my notes was this is musically one of the more interesting songs on the album.
Yeah, definitely. And
I think a combination of time signatures and the weird chords.
Yes, definitely. And this, to me, that's what I think. It's almost like Blink-esque. As I said back on the Untitled episode, that when Blink were out, a lot of people were like, oh, I don't listen to Blink-182. That's just like pop punk, silly. I listen to more musical bands. It's like, if you pay attention, there's actually quite a bit going on, especially with the drums. But with this band, they're so much more than they appear on the surface. They're like, it's a cool, like indie rock influenced pop punk band with a bit of punk energy. Like, how do you explain them?
It's kind of like a bit of a garage rock.
Garage rock kind of thing. But then you straight away, like you look into their musicality and you're like, oh my goodness, what's that skipping sound they're doing? Oh, well, they obviously are time signature nerds. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Because these songs wouldn't be the same without the time signature shifts.
That is interesting. No.
I love the verses. And in that,
interesting. Oh, no, you go. I
was going to say 6/4/5/4, 6/4, 6/4, 6/4, 6/4, 6/4, 6/4. That's what that is. It's just so interesting. I found myself it's got a bit of, I don't know, if you want to listen to Nerd Out, you can. If you want to listen to it to sing along, you can. If you want to listen to it to cry, you can. It's like,
the point I was going to make is it's really cool to have a band and an album where the music is really interesting.
Yeah.
But also the lyrics are super interesting. Like sometimes it's like the music is a vehicle for, like, kind of with Futures a little bit. We were talking a lot about, like, it was kind of a vehicle for Jim Adkins' vocals.
Yes.
Whereas here you've got, like, the vocals are amazing, the lyrics are amazing, the general musicality, like, it's all in one package.
Yeah.
There's so much that different people could find interesting about these songs.
Yeah, and none of it you look at and go, like, I'm sure there'd be people that go, well, I can hear bands in this, so it's not like they've made this completely unique sound. And I mean, admittedly, so can I. I've been saying I can hear Brand New in this, I can hear Motion City in this, I can hear other bands as well, but those are the ones I particularly hear. But I think they've really found something like their own they've established themselves with this album. Yeah. Like, I've heard some of the earlier pop stuff, and that's really good too. But this to me is they've done something creatively special with this album, and I think that's why it's really good.
Also, a really interesting concept for a song.
Yeah. And also, but again, another 90s throwback. You got the 97 Camry, and there's a lot of 90s band influences that I can hear in this, but also Mary Kate and Ashley.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really a clever little pun, but also just the idea of the song as well, the concept.
And I was always like, what's this about? Like, you hear the Mary Kate and Ashley reference, but when you're looking at this note about the fact that it's about a game, which is kind of like Candyman game. Like
you say it in a mirror and they show up. Yeah. That's funny. I do love the lyric where it said, I heard a sound in the attic, but you don't believe in all of that. Like, I think metaphorically, even though he's quite literal, and he probably is just being very literal, the idea of it, I think that is a much bigger representation of what he speaks about than just what it says on the paper.
Yeah,
The idea of, I've got this idea of something that's a little bit outside of your understanding, but you don't believe in any of that anyway. So you're just going to dismiss it. It's like it almost tied to the mental health thing.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so Sibling Rivalry, what'd you give this one?
I said great.
Oh, okay. I thought you might go a bit lower than me on this one. I went Crown.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Why was this a Crown for you?
I just think that they've had some great choruses, and to me, this is a Crown chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chorus
It's really good.
Yeah.
I said it's like a pop chorus, but it's yelled. I said it's so catchy.
Yes.
You could sing this. You could just 100%. If you had less saturation and you had clearer singing, this is just a pop rock song.
Yeah.
But they take it and they put it in the PUP, through the PUP flavor and through the PUP filter, and it's loud and it's aggressive.
Yeah.
PUP filter. That might not use one. That might actually be the trick there, technically. But it's just, again, this is a really big example for me of that 90s pop rock band sound.
Yeah.
With the oohs and the chorus and the same thing following the melody. With the guitar tremolo riff again. They use that quite a bit on this album. And this is where I feel like that sounds very, very much of that era.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think like in the intro to this song, it gives off vibes to me of like, oh, maybe this is just going to be good.
Yeah.
And then the verses hit. Like,
yeah.
Oh, there's so much. Again, it's that swagger. And then the chorus is just like...
God. It does not sound like hip hop at all, but it has that same swagger of a groove to it like hip hop does, like in its own way.
Yep.
The song just walks along and in a really like a really cool way. It's not jarring or anything. I don't know. I love it. It's a very summery album, but maybe this is a night walk song, you know? I don't know where I'm going with that. But yeah, I mean, like this, another one. I just think that the other songs that I've given greats for on this album, like deserve it, obviously, and that's created this baseline. And for me, this is above that on the baseline.
Yeah, okay. There's a few on this where I was like, this is either a great or a Crown. I'm not 100% sure. And some of them I went up to the Crown, some I went down to the great. But
we're
like,
still
there's very
apart.
little separating them.
No, and we're only one apart. I just think, I don't know. I don't have much more to say about it than that. It's just a really catchy, banging thing, and I'd want this on the playlist, you know, of my unskippable songs. This is deserving of that.
Yeah, I quite like as well. He like intermixes some of the lyrics in the last section. Like he kind of pulls lyrics from different parts of the song and then puts them together to make like the outro section and the vocals. It's really cool.
It's kind of a sweet song because it's written about his sister.
Yes.
And it's really cool. I love that last line where it says, even when I know I should, I don't know what to do because I'd still want to hang with you whenever I could.
Yeah.
Like it's really nice.
It sounds like that they would like give each other shit on these camping trips.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
siblings are kind of like, not picked on each other, had like this, sibling rivalry, but where they obviously like, I guess, played pranks on each other.
Yes, absolutely. And but he's being like, but I wouldn't change it sort of thing.
Yeah.
Also, the second verse, I think, where he says, holy shit, it's coming down 3 feet of snow, the frozen ground. Stuck in the tent for days and you started laughing. You said it's a sign. First reference of multiple references, even though I think it's only 2, of him singing about snow coming down. Because there's another song that he talks about the same thing too, which is an interesting thing to talk about twice.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what maybe he just
Are they
did
Canadian?
It. Yeah, they are. They are. They are.
That's right.
I'm sorry, everybody. They are. I'm putting that on record. I should have said that at the beginning. I know they're Canadian, and I knew that. But I stupidly said on one of our videos, somewhere in America, because I don't know anything about the band, it's Canada.
That's like saying to a band that's from New Zealand, like some Australian band.
Yeah. Well, we do that. We actually just take people born in New Zealand, we just say they're Australian.
Shamelessly claim them, yeah.
Like Keith Urban. Russell Crowe, I think, was born in New Zealand.
Yeah. Claim Crowded House.
We've got Silverchair and like Jimmy Barnes, mate. I don't know what else we have.
All right, Full Blown Meltdown. What do you got?
I think if people are rating along, this might be a song that people don't like.
Ooh.
I rated it a good.
Oh.
Yeah.
I said Crown.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We're 2 apart.
Again.
I thought we might have been closer than that. I thought we probably would have given around a good.
Oh.
I was wrong.
See, I thought this would be one of the ones you liked the most on the album.
No.
Interesting.
Why?
I guess there's a lot going on musically.
Yeah.
And I thought that you'd like, as you have with some of the other songs, like latch onto some of the more interesting parts of the songs.
I guess so. It doesn't have what I'd want for it to be a Crown. I think it's good. I just think, I don't love it as much as the other ones. And the other songs I've given great to, this doesn't match that, in my opinion.
Okay.
But it's, I feel like it's cathartic processing of his mental health through song. It's very like an insight into sonic representation of what may be going on in his head. Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah. And some unraveling going on. Like,
yeah. Well, he says here, this is the point we're making in the album intro. Artists are not a special class of people. Mental health is a thing that affects so many people, and people looking up to artists who are self-serious and torture themselves, that's bad for everybody. It gives the listener or whoever the opportunity to say, oh, I can be like this too, and slide back into their own shell instead of doing something productive about it. I have a note here that I said that, yes, but there is also cathartic processing of mental health is actually a really important thing that research has shown that a lot of people do or utilize music for as a utility or a tool for cathartic processing of emotions to descend into the depths of their suffering before kind of emerging on the other side. That's how the research supports. Him saying here that it's not a good thing for people to process their mental health through music in that way and dwell in it. He's right. You shouldn't it probably isn't a good idea to only use the music as a coping mechanism to enable your mental health because there's no progression in that.
Yeah.
So he's right about that. But I think the research has shown that's actually a smaller percentage than most people who would listen to a song that allows them to process their mental health would do it in a way that allows for a sense of cathartic cleansing. So I think songs like this are incredibly important, but couldn't help myself when I saw that. I had to be like, the research says. But he's right. He is right. For the percentage that do that, I can understand at least his responsibility as a songwriter is I don't want to be thinking that by me writing depressing songs that I'm making people more depressed.
Yeah.
Because you've been through it and you're I don't want to wish this on my worst enemy, let alone people who follow me and like what I do.
It's just such an interesting perspective that they take. I don't know. I'm not sure I've heard a song that's about this theme. Where the song seems to be about the music industry exploiting artists that are singing about their mental health to make money.
Yeah, which is kind of how it's always been. That's it. He said it's sort of grappling with this idea that there's this fetishization of depression. I said, well, yeah, that's art in general, isn't it? You either relate to it as you would for entertainment or to make you feel like you aren't at least as bad as the person singing it. It feels like, honestly, a lot of the times people observe people who sing about mental health stuff like there's some freak in a cage of oh, isn't that great to see that I'm not that bad? Or oh, wow, look at the depth he's getting into with this, but it's observed at a distance. Yes. And you can feel very much I guess if you were to create songs like this, that you're in that cage of people just looking at you like you're a zoo animal. But you obviously want people when you do this stuff to relate to it and to feel like it can help them with the mental health. And I think that's what he's struggling with.
Yeah.
You're right. You don't really hear songs like this. So perhaps he hasn't seen songs come out prior that he knows how this will go down. And he's I really hope this song lands the right way.
Yeah. And a self-deprecating, almost self-loathing aspect of he participates in it in a sense as well.
Yeah. It's really cool.
There's so much anger in this song.
I said it's probably the punkiest song on the album. It's so punk.
Yeah.
The energy and the vibes.
Yeah.
But also just a complete counterpoint to that, or just where I say it does change. The bridge where it goes to that completely different rhythm with the palm muted guitars. It reminds me so much of Chuck, the Sum 41's album. It has that. Yeah. That just is so Sum 41 to me. Yeah.
Because I was thinking a Metallica type thing, but it's a Sum 41 take on, yes.
You think of Metallica. Instead, it's Sum 41 Chuck, who is very Metallica.
Yes.
We still get that.
It's just such a punch. Did I say it's such a punch in the face?
No.
Okay.
I said it's the punkiest song on the album.
Okay.
It reminds me almost a little bit of my first punk song by Boxcar Racer.
Yep.
Not that it sounds like it, but it fits the album like my first punk song kind of does.
Yeah.
It's just loud and aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah. Alrighty, so Bare Hands.
I said great.
I said great as well.
Yeah.
So we've been pretty close this album.
We have.
We're going to have a similar rating.
Yeah. This is another song where it starts and you think, oh, this could be a good.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the one where they're just kind of it's a little bit of filler.
Because they have to by now, right? That's how you feel.
And then it's another banging chorus.
Yeah. That intro riff, I think, calls back to Morbid Stuff. The intro.
Oh.
In Morbid Stuff, that one there has a similar. Similar.
Do you think intentionally, or are they just that kind of?
I think so.
That scale.
I mean, maybe it could be a happy coincidence, but I feel like they're musically clever enough for this to be intentional rather than by accident, especially with it being the second last song on the album. And the last song is definitely the closer of the album.
Yes.
So maybe this is the one that could have closed the album if the last song didn't exist, and that's where they need to call back to it.
Yeah.
The opener, closer kind of thing, and then the encore is the last track.
Interesting. I didn't pick up on that. That's good.
Yeah. I said the second half or the end of the verses, it's the way that the bare hands holding on to the wire, that part where it gets loud.
Yes.
I said that's so sick how they choose to do that. It's it's so hard to explain. It's not the second half of the verses. It's just a line they put at the end of the verses that just changes completely. And that is just, to me, I'm musically, wow, what a great idea.
Yeah.
How inspired. Rather than, I don't know, you don't hear that very often, and you know that.
Is that the transition to the chorus? Is it a bit of a pre-chorusy bit? Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I wouldn't call it the pre-chorus though. It feels like it's just the end of the verse. It's like a line at the end of the verse. Yeah.
Yeah, because then it has the dun, 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 and then it goes into the chorus. So it isn't really a pre-chorus.
No,
is
it's
it?
just
Like it doesn't
just a-
launch you into the chorus.
Yeah, it's like a pre-chorus,
Yeah.
post-verse, whatever you want to call it. And making
Also
new
the-
sections up.
We've been talking about how he's so literal
Hmm.
in his lyrics, but like these lyric in this song about bare hands holding onto the wire. It's one of the first times when he uses like a metaphor.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah.
Which I think is
he's
like-
done it. He's broken the literal lyrics. Again, this is the song I said that he talks about snow in as well.
Yes.
He says it's December and there's snow out in the yard.
Yeah.
More stuff about snow. Then again, they're Canadian. It snows there a lot, doesn't
That's
it?
why I said I like Canadians. Like
Mm.
they're just snows like.
Yeah, snow's just normal. This is part of the everyday
I
conversation.
love songs though that incorporate like the calendar. Like we're moving through the season. So it starts with Cut Me Loose in mid-September and then it's like Wake Up Alone now it's December.
But then why did you rate January so low for?
Because that was cheesy.
I love when they do that. No, actually.
No, but that
with-
was like,
with
this
the
is kind
caveat.
of like, here it's done to like reflect the passage of time. I don't know. January is like a play on the calendar. It's like,
Sure, yeah. But it's funny.
Has
you
anyone
said
got an
to
idea for a
reflect
song?
the
Get
passage of
the calendar. Let's just use that as inspiration.
time. They're in the studio, just like whatever they can grab.
Yeah. January, something happened. February, something happened. Then there was a few other months and then June and, you know.
Then they broke up. It's the story of their relationship. I said I also love the tremolo part with the floor toms in the riff after the first chorus. The way that the drummer, it's like they're so connected musically that when they're doing stuff, they're all not just playing their parts, they know when to lock in. And it's just like another little musical note then of a thing that I really think elevates this song. It's obviously really catchy. Would you give it a crown?
No, I said great.
Okay, great. Because I can say, I don't think this, I personally don't think it's a crown song.
It wasn't quite
yeah.
crown tier, no. But again, like, it's just like
But I didn't
so
find
consistent, one after another. You get to these like really big, catchy, melodic choruses.
But I feel like that's the
With the
thing.
exception of the last song.
After Jimmy Eat World last week, where I found it really hard to rate songs because it's like, where do they sit in the rating system? You don't want to futures tax it, as we've coined that new term. I feel like with this one, it is. What am I doing? I can't hold the baguette before it's baguette time. I'm gonna hug a pillow. I'll hug another one.
Greg, why aren't you telling me I was holding the baguette?
He's
What are you
probably
doing?
asleep. I can't see him from this angle. He could leave, and I wouldn't even. We'd neither of us would know. The songs. That's right. I did not.
The songs. What were we talking about? The songs.
That's so broad. The ratings. I did not find any of these hard to rate.
Oh,
yeah. So the standard was so like, well, that's not as good as those, and all the greats are pretty consistently all around the same. So the crowns can just reach that level. There's not like with Jimmy Eat World, there's so much play within the crown tier, so much play within the great tier. I found.
Oh no, I found it easier than futures, but I still found it hard because a lot of them I was like, oh, I could crown this again, but
true,
surely it's not another crown.
Yeah.
Then I didn't want to futures tax it, you know.
Yep, true. That's a new thing.
Yep.
That we're going to be wary of.
City. What'd you give it?
Last track. I gave it a good.
So did I.
Yeah.
And we both got the same vibe, which is that this was a slightly disappointing way to end the album. Is that what your thought is?
I wouldn't. Oh, I guess if you look at it that way, I wouldn't. My first word wouldn't be that it's disappointing.
Okay.
I think that it's not that I would expect more from it because I think it works on the album. I just don't think it gets to that level where I go, this is a great song.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. I said if there's any doubt that they sound like brand new, this is actually just sounds like brand new.
Oh, for me, it's really when the big guitar comes in. That's when it
Yeah,
sounds
with
like
all the
brand new.
tremolo-y stuff. But in the when they're building up to that, I don't know really. There's not really traditional sections
but
in the
not
song.
like the earlier, softer vocal section.
No. About probably halfway to 3/4, and then when it gets loud at the end,
definitely
sounds so much like brand new.
Like Devil and God, brand new. Or not that. What's the one after?
Daisy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this, I could hear Devil and God in there as well. But I could understand if people didn't like this song. If people were rating along, just like the one a couple of songs ago, I think this one is probably the biggest one. People might be like, that wasn't for me.
Yeah. You made a good point before that like this has to be the closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't work anywhere else on the album.
It shouldn't be on the album if it's not the closer.
Yeah.
But I think, I said, my first note is an uncomfortable song. Like it's not easy to listen to.
Yes.
And I think Scorpion Hill is probably uncomfortable for the lyrics, but that's just like, it reminds me a bit of that song off War on Errorism where it goes through the three stories of it's like the second
that's
track.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another super dark song.
I remember what that's about. Yeah, but it like that type of thing where it's uncomfortable because of the subject matter. But this is uncomfortable because I think this song almost feels like that the mask that he's been wearing the rest of the album has come off.
Interesting.
Like he's trying to, like the other songs are like, I feel like crap, but I'm doing it satirically, and like that's why the songs come out kind of sarcastic and poppy and catchy or whatever.
Yeah.
This is kind of just like how I actually feel inside, and it's just this mess, cloud of depression and mess. Like that's what this song feels like. Which is to me, it makes me just go, oh, this is a little bit like, it's just a bit heavy and dark, which is
okay.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting perspective because I didn't necessarily see it that way as one of the more thematically dark songs.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's no resolution of like, and everything's going to be okay. It's like, it's just into, like, it's like the sound equivalent of like a spiral just down and just like this
and
cloud
it doesn't have the melodic hook. All those other songs have some kind of melodic hook at some point. This one doesn't have that. It
doesn't end on a nice note.
It's almost like not atonal, but it's just like very just kind of monotonal.
Yeah, but it's like, I thought you just said eternal in a weird way, like eternal. Like, oh no, I mean atonal.
The end of eternal.
But it feels very desolate and like hopeless.
It does. Desolate, hopeless. Very good. Yeah.
And that's thank you. Great. Very good. I'll keep that in mind when I mark your test at the end of the episode.
I didn't have that note, but I totally agree with that.
Yeah, which is kind of a bit talking about sitting into your mental health. Like there is no positive wrap up. It's just a sarcastic ending of like, and as long as we're sarcastic about it, because he said as long as you can laugh at yourself, it's all good. And he does that for most of the album, but it's almost like his social battery is worn out at this point of the album, and he's like, I'm not even gonna, like, I'm tired. It's the end of the night. I'm not. Even, this is just who I am, which is into that. I think this is a good representation that the mental health stuff is honest, because I can hear it a lot in this. Yeah.
And think about like the last lyric on the entire album. Between you and me, this city is slowly poisoning me, and as I rip into its scales, it rots beneath my fingernails. And when I try to claw out of the pit, all I do is get sucked back in. And that's like, we're finishing the album with that. It's like, that is heavy.
Absolutely. And then the next album is like an identity crisis of PUP the band, maybe because he felt like he had so much of like he let so much of it out on Morbid Stuff. It's like, where do I go from here? And that's because that whole album is essentially just a big identity crisis as a band of like, where are we? What do we do?
With some like satire and commentary on like the music industry as well.
Yeah. But that's it.
Which
obviously
is interesting
trying to provide an album for the label that can sell, like, where do we go? Because that's the thing. If you, albums like this talk about creative inspiration, this album is so creatively inspired that almost like you bring it out and not knowing how it's going to land because you're not creating it to try to.
Yeah.
I mean, you could maybe see it as like a success or a failure, but it's not created like maybe a really poppy album would be of like, well, this should do well. This is like, we don't know how this is going to land.
Yeah.
Turns out it lands really well. And then you go, oh dear, where do we go from here then? Because I didn't have a 3-album plan for this. I just was honest.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to see what I'd actually rate the second album. But, not second album, the one following this, Unraveling PUP the Band. Like with the rating
you haven't
system.
done that? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Definitely not to this extent.
No.
But
I know we talk about it, but we didn't do this individual song ratings. Yeah.
But originally I said I like that one better, and I don't know if that's the case anymore.
Yeah. I re-listened to it this week and really, really enjoyed it. Not as the Unraveling.
Oh, yeah, I think I still love it, but I just don't know if down to the actual ratings what I give it.
I re-listened to the one before Morbid Stuff. What's it called? The Something Is Over.
Oh, yeah.
It's really
with
good
DVP
as well.
on it. That album?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great song.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's on the Morbid Stuff level. They're not quite on that level, but it sounds more like Morbid Stuff than Unraveling PUP the Band.
Yeah, right.
It's more that kind of style.
The first album they brought out was way punkier. I remember that because I listened through that.
Is that the one with the guy with like the teeth, the gold teeth on it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so what did you end up rating this one? We need our boards.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Uh-oh. Look, say it like you mean it. Trying to hold on to the board. Get out of here.
Fuck off.
No, it's still like
was that,
just outside the top 10.
I didn't realize that would make it onto your top 10.
Say it like you mean it.
Yeah.
It was there for a bit.
Was it? Yeah.
I mean, that was after. Yeah, it actually clung on for quite a bit. That's the thing. We talk like we don't like albums that we really like. And this is still a 4.69. That's quite good.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm missing one. One has fallen off. I don't know. We'll work that one out. Okay. Oh, wait. No, I didn't add last week's. Futures.
Oh, didn't you?
Futures is at number 2. That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm missing one, because I have to replace that one.
Yeah. So my score came out as 5.54.
Wow. That's really high.
Really high. So
that's not a number 1 for you.
It's not a number 1.
Right.
It's not a number 2, but it is a number 3.
Wow.
We've got a new bronze medalist.
What's it replacing at number 3?
It replaces Pennybridge Pioneers, which was a 5.5. Wow. Now, admittedly, because I'm a bit of an idiot, some of my scores are to 2 decimal places and some of them are to 1. So Pennybridge Pioneers may have in fact been 5.56 or 5.57, but
so you're milling-columned it. You're milling-columned it.
I'm bumping them, and the 5.54 for PUP, for Morbid Stuff will surpass Pennybridge. So it goes into 3. So now my leaderboard is: Does this look infected?
Yep.
The War on Errorism?
Yep. And then Morbid Stuff.
And then the Untitled Blink album.
Wow. Well, I said this whole album that I hope that we would stay together. I think we'd be pretty close in the ratings.
Yep.
And we would eventually come around. While we did not rate the album the same in the end, we are not as close as that. I want to give you a high five because I think we'll be happy to both know that we both have a new number 3.
This is number 3 for you?
So this is 5.36 for me in total, which is Does This Look Infected at 1, Blink-182 at 2, Morbid Stuff at 3. I've got it above Boxcar Racer. It's just bumped Boxcar Racer down 1.
And you got it above Futures. No, wait. So what was...
So I'm an idiot too. And I haven't put Futures on the board yet. So I think this is my number 4. So stupid, man. I just said I hadn't put Futures on the board yet.
I want to give you a high five. Okay. You were so confident.
I was like, I think we should be very happy about this, knowing that I'm actually high-fiving a number 4. Okay,
you should blame Greg, because I thought I saw a memo go around this week that said that he had agreed to update the boards.
Whiteboard duty. But no, so it's a number 4.
Number 4. But I was going to say, I'd be surprised if this overtook Futures for you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would too. That would be a new number 1. You've got to do well to get. That's nearly an average Crown album.
No, to overtake Futures, I mean, which wasn't number 1. Futures is...
No, but Futures was 0.01 away from Does This Look Infected.
I see what you mean. It would have to be a number 1. Yeah. Saying. Yes.
So I've got Does This Look Infected, Futures, Self-Titled Blink, Morbid Stuff.
Okay.
So what does that knock off in the end of your list for you?
Bark Like a Dog.
Oh, okay. That didn't make my... Barked off. That didn't make my top 10. Unfortunately for me, I'm losing an album off my top 10 that you have so high, which is War and Erism.
It left your top 10.
Yep, it was 4.78. So that's interesting.
That market filthy with you.
I need to I'm going to leave this here, so I actually do.
Yes.
Because I keep every week I'm like, I'll add it when I get there, and I keep forgetting.
I'm going to do mine before I leave.
That's so funny. All right, so is it time to get a baguette right now?
Oh, yes.
All right. So Morbid Stuff was an album that, admittedly at first, because I was introduced to PUP on The Unraveling of PUP the Band.
Yeah.
I'm a newcomer. Loved that album so much that was my view of what PUP were. So when I heard Morbid Stuff, at first I was like, this is not as much for me as the other album because I loved Unraveling so much. I love this album so much after sitting with it and giving it time. And one of the reasons that I love it so much is because it makes me so happy to see that bands that are still around today are still doing more niche sounds of the pop punk broader sphere, but doing it in their own way, that it doesn't feel derivative. It doesn't feel like they're trying to steal from another band, or you go, that just sounds like a band, like a bridge written by another band or something. Yep. They do it in their own sound, but it's almost like Easter eggs for those who know the genre to hear something and go, that sounds like Motion City Soundtrack. That sounds like Old Brand New. Like that sounds like so many different bands. And it just makes me so excited. And I guess because, we're like middle-aged and, get off our porch kind of old men yelling now about the genre. But that to me makes me so happy getting a bit older, is because it's kind of like we're out of our era now. Like we're out of our pop punk listening prime of like when we were younger. Sadly. But the fact that this still exists and the torch is still being carried on by bands that do it in their own way and do it really well, that's where I feel the most pride hearing music like this, and it makes me love it more and love it deeper.
Such a good point. Yeah, you feel like the genre is in safe hands.
Yeah.
The direction of the genre is like it's going in good place.
By bands that get it, not bands who are just trying to look like they get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But something I love so much. What? Coming now. But what I love so much about this album is that it's more of like a more meta level rather than just the album itself. This is 2 weeks in a row now that I've found like a top 5 album for me, like in our rating system. Yeah. So 2 weeks and 2 all-time albums for me that I've found in the book club. That's why I love the book club. And like, that's why I think everyone else who is not part of it should come join us and hang out and rate these albums. Because last week, Futures by Jimmy Eat World, knew I loved that album already, and it just confirmed it with the rating system. But this album, like, I have found an album that as I said, it's in my top 5 out of all the albums that we've listened to in the genre. And I think it's going to stay there for quite a while, because the score, I mean, where it reached, it's going to take a lot to beat it.
For sure. You've hit the Pop Punk Book Club jackpot. Because we talk about like finding an album I've never heard before that becomes like top tier.
Yeah, and that's it. This is that album for me so far. Interesting that it is, I think there would be quite a few people that would be arguing about, that's not pop punk, because it's like we're talking about Pop Punk Book Club. But to me, it's an extension, or it's an evolution of the genre that I think is super exciting and moving to listen to for sure.
Yes. At the start of the episode, you made the comment that you didn't think we'd be far apart on this one. You were like, this might be the album where like we're very close on all our ratings. Yeah. And I was like, I agreed with that, and for a very specific reason. And that for me, this album is like very much in the vein of Does This Look Infected?
Oh.
Not musically necessarily.
No. I know what you
just
mean.
in the sense that it's just like the consistency of this album is just so impressive that from one song to the next, there's something about it that really grabs you.
It's like creative vision acquired, and then they just know how to lean into it. And because they know what the mark is, they hit it every time. Yeah.
And it's such a perfect blend of, you can love this because you just want to go on this journey about this singer's exploration of his mental health.
Yeah.
Or you can enjoy it because you want to enjoy the musicality. Like, or just you want to just go for a bike ride on a sunny day and lie looking up at the clouds.
Lie by the river and look at the clouds.
Like you can just enjoy it on so many different levels. Like it's just, I love this album. and I that was the reason why I was so confident when you said that we would be so close, because I was like, I don't see how you could not like any of these songs.
Yeah, you're so right. And I think with all those different layers and perspectives, even and angles that you can view the album from and appreciate the album from, like that's what makes the album so special. And I think will be the reason why the album becomes so deeply connected to so many people is because you have so many different ways of interpreting it. And also, that's not even counting the different life stages where you may be going through different things, and these songs will connect with you even harder because, you know, everyone, oh goodness knows, they're ready to connect with you. They're so deep.
I've got a raging baguette for this album.
Oh, okay.
Like this is, I'm pretty confident this is my favorite pop punk album of the last decade.
Yep.
I can't think of another one. Yeah. And in fact, it might be my favorite album of any genre of the last decade.
Yeah.
Like from when I heard it the first time, this album just hit me. And I had kind of the opposite experience to what you had, where my introduction to the band was the album, The Unraveling of PUP the Band. And I didn't dislike it, but I was like, I'm not sure this is for me.
Yeah.
And then something made me go back and listen to this album. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, that is for me. That's me right there. And from then onwards, it's been just an album that I play regularly. I absolutely love it. It's an illustration of why we love the book club so much. Because 100%. Again, I've hit the jackpot as well. This was an album that I found when we're doing the book club, I found it because of the book club.
Yeah.
And it's going to be my third favorite album that we've done on this list.
And back to back, you found one of your favorite songs ever in Scorpion Hill, and me with Closure. Like back to back, found the deepest, most favorite songs on this album. I think that's what makes it so incredibly special.
Yeah.
I think, even though I think with us growing older and becoming more mature and seeing life from different life stages and perspectives, it probably allows us to connect with this album a little bit differently than we would have when we were younger. I still think you and I would love this album, or would have loved this album if it came out when we were in high school. I think this would have been, we would have loved it. Maybe not just as much, because I think we would have had to be a bit older to fully understand it.
Yes.
But because we may not have had that emotional awareness at 15, 16. But I think it has everything. I think it's making our inner teenager happy too, rather than just who we are now.
That's such a good point. Yeah. I think musically we would have frothed on this album.
Yeah.
I wonder if thematically we would have got it to the level that we do now. Because for me personally, like, and it's interesting, you're talking about how like we're old. Like we're past our prime when it comes to pop punk. Like, but it's interesting that like the bands that we were listening to when we were kids, like what they were singing about is very different from what these guys are singing about. And they're like, what, late 20s or something like that?
Yeah, I would probably assume that.
But this album is so mature in some ways. And I feel like, I don't think I would have appreciated Scorpion Hill the way I appreciate it now, because you have to have some life experience to understand like how desperate that song is.
Desperate.
And how crushing that song is. That I just don't think as a 15, 16-year-old I would have had. But it's so cool that like pop punk can still give us that in our like early middle age.
Yeah. New perspective. It's a genre that keeps on giving.
So that's it. That's good. Yeah. Okay, I do it. 5%. We're going to do it. Yeah. I've got to wrap up. Can't just end it there. Oh, sorry. Okay. Just the art. See you later.
All right, so thanks so much for listening. As you know, it is like an absolute joy and pleasure to be able to do this thing with you. And also, just as I said, finding gems in the book club, it's what it's all about.
Yeah.
If you would like to help us out more than anything, we'd love it so much if you could tell a friend about this. If you have a friend that was into this genre and is into it now, maybe, you know what, I'll say, if you have a friend, let's give a little task for people listening. If you have a friend that used to love this genre back in the day, but hasn't really listened to it much now, but you're listening now, wishing you could nerd out with them, go do it, because that's what started the whole book club, was because I was listening to Does This Look Infected and was like, I want to talk to Sam about that. So do that. Who knows? You might start your own book club podcast back in the day.
There could be chapters of the book club.
That's right. Yep.
Actually, don't do that, because then they won't watch us.
We have a cult master plan. It's mandatory viewing for cult members, but then they have their chapters in the different areas.
Yeah.
I don't know, work it out.
Can we have like some kind of cheesy like prize for people? Like if they can like bring 5 new members to the book club, they can.
Kool-Aid. Something, I don't know. Thank you so much for listening. But before we go, we have to do the album for next week. I nearly always forget. I'm so glad that I remembered stuff that you said to do a time signature one.
Yeah. So it's got to be 444454446444.
But your phone number or the time signature you want me to do? Okay. It's also, they're not really straightforward beats, but okay. I'll do closure. Just made it up. That's what it was from.
We are doing Hoss by Lagwagon.
Yeah, Lagwagon came through. That sounds like mustard disguise. Remember that? Oh, slap it up. A Hossophagus. The Lagwagon came through Newcastle recently in January and missed it because it sold out.
It sold out. They need to play a bigger venue.
And they were doing Hoss, the album. What's the bet? We love this album and wish we could have seen it from start to finish at the Hamo Stage. Yeah, that would have been good.
I don't know this album as well as...
Let's talk about feelings.
Yeah.
That's the album I know better, yeah. But before we get to that, there's one more thing we'd like to do.
There is. It's time for...
Pop punk in the stylish... I'm sorry. Please forgive me, master.
It's time for Pub Punk.
I get beheaded live on the podcast. Pop punk in the style of Shakespeare. You know how it is. One verse, one chorus. You get one guess. First one that leaves the right answer in the comments. Get shout out next episode. Let's go. My good friend.
My friend's over here.
My good friend. Just get it straight away. I did that one. That was like the first one we did. Yeah. My good friend. Thou wouldst scarce believe the tale I now set to parchment. Only yestermorn I chanced upon a most curious creature, a beast, or so she seemed at first glance. When I inquired what price her company might demand, I soon found the sum far richer than I had dreamt. Yet I paid it gladly. Before my senses could steady, I had brought her home with me. Imagine, if thou canst, a being near 100 stone, all clad in gleaming silver as though forged by a blacksmith himself. Strange though her form may be, she hath bewitched me utterly. For she is now my world, aye, the very centre of my joy. I've never known a horse so swift, so wild, so wondrous as the one she grants. She is my life, unruly, daring, dangerously alluring. And of all earthly pleasures, she remains the finest I have ever claimed.
Got it.
You got it? I can see your eyes click. That's so good. Just, what is it? That's right. Correct. Yeah. Well done, fine sir.
It's a peculiar one.
Yeah.
It sounds very different.
It just sounds different to every other song.
And then, for some reason, I was thinking 1 in a Million by Bodija for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not sure Jay would go with that. And then,
Yeah.
Anyway, at some point, I think, you started talking about like her size. I was like, that's really weird. And I was like, I'm not talking about a human. And then it's like,
Yeah. It's funny that, because I mean, how do you translate, you know what, to Shakespeare? But you know how it is. If you get the first right answer in the comments, gets a shout out in the next episode. I don't know. Brain ain't working at full capacity today. See you guys next week.